let's see. I'll share some links here.
Perfect.
You guys to join the game. And then we have our Twitch stream here going. That is
Nonchalant Wombat.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Nonchalant Wombat. Jim.
Jim the Zany Sorcerer.
Yeah. Jim's gonna come back.
Jim the Zany Sorcerer. Oh, I can hear myself.
Oh yeah, let me mute the screen. There we go.
Oh, I have to unequip my +3 dagger. Sad. Back in time.
Yeah, back in time.
Yeah, so last time we went kind of ahead of this, but this is taking place on the 21st of Isoldre, the last week of the month, as Galaxia and Demiurge spend a week working on the tuning fork that will deliver you all to the plane of fire. Thuzzal and Porkchop, you spend some time in Demiurge's mansion in Lutetia, just kind of chilling and thinking about what it is that you're going to do in the meantime.
So, can we have a map of Lutetia?
You may. Or, you see the game?
Yeah.
Yep. So we have my maps. You see the map there?
Yay, perfect. Okay, so let me get a look here. He is probably somewhere around the Crimson Cloak's garrison.
Possibly.
So I think that we decided the first step to this would be to ask Galaxia to scribe for him.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she can totally do that. She will scry on Idric Gunderson specifically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
To try to get some informations.
So, I'll have you... Thuzzal. Actually, no, she already met him once in person.
Yeah.
You've met the target. Alright, so it's just a straight d20 roll then, for whether or not this succeeds. We'll do a public roll, so you guys can see it too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 9 on his save against Galaxia's save DC. So, Galaxia sits down in the corner of the room and takes a break from working on the tuning fork, and she focuses, and you see her eyes turn white for a moment, and there's a long pause, and then she looks away and says, I saw him. It seemed like he was in a tent, kind of looking at a war table maybe. It was covered in markings and little markers. He was by himself. There was grass on the ground inside of this kind of dome tent. Don't know where he is. He's wearing armor.
Okay, so he's not
He's probably not in the city.
He's
because
not-
otherwise he'd be in a building.
in the city, yeah.
Do we know if Lutetia is, like, actively at war with anyone?
Make a... Well, no, you wouldn't know. You guys really haven't been around, and it's been a long time since you guys have, like, you haven't checked in on the, politics of local...
Right. So can we... I guess the next thing is Porkchop send out some scouts, like...
I mean, if he's not here, that's not going to be very useful.
Well, right, but we could get some information just where he went, where he was headed, and when. Right, like, is he on a trail a day away, or is he, like, in a tent outside the city talking with troops? Like, right, like, that tent could be anywhere.
Who would know where he's likely to be, though? Because, so originally we were thinking that maybe, like, the street urchins would know, like, where he was at, because, like, he's cruel and you want to stay out of his way, and, like, you like, keep tabs on him. But if he's gone, there's no way they would know where he is. That's, like, a
Well, if they
situation.
if they saw him leave,
Out of, like, one of the gates, like, that doesn't tell you much.
I mean, we would know what direction, and then we could ask we could ask, like, okay, well, why did he go this direction? Like,
They don't know. They're street urchins. So what you need to do is go ask somebody. Like, I think the getting the guard drunk at this point is the play. Go like.
so I guess
Toss some soldiers
that's
out.
our next way to gather information is like go to a pub and like try to find some Crimson Cloak or some military personnel and have a few drinks and ask them what the dealio is with some friendly conversation.
Sure. So, Demiurge's mansion is on the far eastern edge of the city, in the Silver Oaks area, up against the wall. So,
Oh, perfect.
You know that there is a variety of taverns all across the city, but a good place to start would be the Ivory Plaza, just to see where everybody is. That's like the trading hub of the city.
Yeah, perfect. Let's scout around and check in on a few pubs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disguise myself with the hat into like a shorter, like my height, so like shorter for a man, like kind of burly, like sailor-ish type.
All right. Burly sailor pork chop.
Yeah, Thuzzal will go undercover as like generic human number 12.
All right. Yep. Just swap it out for one of your random generic human disguises.
Yep.
And you all head out for the day, leaving Demiurge and Galaxia to continue their work. You head west across the city, and it's easygoing. It's a warm day. The sun is bearing down. It's probably late spring. You're getting to like the turning of almost summer now.
Right.
You would remember that in about 3 weeks' time will be the celebration of warmth, the festival of warmth, the onset of summer in like the middle of next month. But yeah, so you head west, walking down the side roads. It's a nice part of town, very wealthy and well kept. And eventually you make it to the Ivory Plaza. There you see hundreds of individuals running around doing shopping on various errands you don't entirely know, but there are stalls, little people hawking their wares. As you walk through, just keeping a low profile, by the central statue, it looks like a very old man with a long white beard holding aloft like a great sword. Underneath that you see the town crier, giving his news for the day, and he shouts out, "Scandal! Scandal in the Resner Dominion! Ambassadors slain in their houses!" Just like goes on talking about like rumors of terrorists in the region. What does it mean for international politics? And you all just kind of like keep going.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, just walking. Like normal people, not people who know other people.
Blending in, shopping, doing the normal stuff, and kind of going at the town crier,
Yep. Wow. But you keep going. As you're walking across the plaza, you do see there is a tavern beyond it. This one looks promising. It's the Boar's Tusk. Seems like a legitimate bar. It's new. Neither of you recognize it. But as you approach, Porkchop, make an investigation check for me, or just a perception check.
Ooh, you want to use the dice tower?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I want to see your new fancy 3D printed dice tower.
It's like the webcam is bad, but collapses and then like.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
That's
Yep.
cool.
Travel size tower.
Exactly.
In case you ever need to bring your dice tower with you on an adventure.
Yeah, duh. I mean,
do that all the
over
time.
come on.
It doesn't work.
You get stuck.
It just
Sad.
Try again.
Maybe I need to scale it up. No, it doesn't work.
No.
Okay.
It gets caught on the...
Oh, maybe it's
It
for like normal D6 or something like
Oh,
that.
it's because I think this. Try
It
again.
worked previously, yeah. Okay. Sorry, what was it really?
A perception check.
The perception check of 14.
All right. 14.
What's your passive perception?
Good enough.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see a fruit stall, and you don't really pay any attention to it, but then you hear a voice kind of bellowing out, and it piques your interest. You glance over. You see a familiar face of a squat brass dragonborn, currently waving about, trying to attract passerby to his fruit stall. This individual was one of the various orphans that you grew up with on the streets, Lutetia. He went by the name of Melonhead at the time. It was kind of like a touchy point, people kind of teased him for his large, bulbous head, but he seems to have grown up fairly well. He's kind of on the short side, but burly, and he's selling his fruit.
You
Gotta go say
gotta
hi.
contact, yeah. Maybe casually, not super obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander over and start
Peruse
looking at the fruit.
Yeah.
And then if he gets close, try to catch his attention in a whisper.
Sure. He sees you approach, and he looks at you directly since he's trying to sell to anyone who walks by. He says, ma'am, would you like to try some of this truly exotic Berber fruit?
Sailor.
I'm a dude sailor.
Dude sailor, right. Sir, would you like to try some of this protein-rich meat fruit from the eastern coast of Arabanga? And he pulls up this strange pineapple-looking thing.
Get on my way.
Meat fruit? That's fucking gross.
Chad's I love that shit.
Chad's not here.
I am going to...
He would love that shit.
That's true.
I guess I'm gonna look around and make sure that nobody's actively looking at me, which I doubt because I'm a random sailor.
Yeah, you glance around. Yeah, the people are just doing their own thing. It's a busy open market.
I'm gonna drop the disguise and turn back into pork chop.
All right, just drop it right in front of him. He goes,
And I'm like, Melonhead, it's me, pork chop.
pork chop! And he reaches over and grabs you and pulls you in for an embrace, giving you a big hug. He pushes you back and holds you at arm's length. He's like, wow, you've really grown up. I haven't been called Melonhead in years.
You sure?
You sure hate you.
I go by Braz now.
Braz, pleasure to reacquaint. And little I'm just happy to see you.
Yeah, what have you been up to? As you can see, I've been building my fruit business.
Looks like you've done very well for yourself. Pleasantries. At some point, I'm going to slip in, actually, I was wondering if you might be able to tell me something about where the Crimson Cloaks might be these days. Is Lutetia having problems with anyone?
He thinks about it. He's like, things have been pretty peaceful. I've heard rumors about some trouble with the orcs to the northeast brewing. I mean, that's always kind of been a problem, but I don't know. It's just been, ever since Urk kind of reestablished itself a few decades back, the orcs have been very insistent on their what's the word I'm looking for? Sovereignty. I don't know. Just their individual, rule, and they're fairly territorial.
Out of game, is the orc city called Urk?
Yes, you would know, Thuzzal. Urk is the orc city, and it is, about 20 years ago, it was kind of reestablished. It used to be a bunch of roaming orc tribes that were attempting to just steal land, and it was very disorganized. But a while back, some leader kind of brought them all back together and established a formal orc city and made it an actual governed sovereign state. And they've been relatively peaceful with Lutetia for a long time. But
that's where we'll find him. Guaranteed.
All right. Well, we're gonna take our leave from Melonhead and buy some fruit.
Yeah,
from
certainly.
him.
He hands you a selection of interesting exotic fruits for a couple gold. You can have your pick.
Stuff we can take on the road with us, so we can munch as we walk.
Yeah, I'll get rid of 10 gold or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he bids you goodbye and to take care, and
back up.
Yeah. Beyond that, he just says that the Crimson Cloaks are, as they've always been, around, dependable, protecting the people of Lutetia. They're the barracks in the northeast corner of town. That's all you're familiar with. The barracks is where they primarily live and go about their work every day.
Like, okay, thanks so much for your help, Melonhead.
I mean, Braz.
Braz. Sorry about that. Just old habits die hard.
That's fine. You still go by pork chop?
I do.
All right. No judgment.
No problem. And then just munch our apples and pears as I put my disguise back up while no one's looking and
All right.
continue wandering around, I guess.
So to the northeast, do I know the path that would lead to Urk?
You probably need to look at your maps, which you have. But yeah, like Urk is a well-known location. It's northeast of like Murstone on the eastern edge of Adowich Loch. You can see it here on the map. So yeah, I mean.
Oh, on the not Latesha map.
Right. So you remember, Thuzzal, you remember that there was some tension with Urk, and part of the reason why you guys went to Harmstead way back when was rumors of like orc insurgents that were harboring there.
Right.
It turned out to be mostly just rumor, but that massacre that happened at Idric Gunderson's command was him being preemptive in that
Preemptive.
mission. Yes. So
okay,
yeah.
so I guess that's our next stop.
Oh, oven.
Right.
yeah, I'll get some water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, grab some water. It appears we are alone, Twitch chat. There's only two of us. You see, we have Pillow Chop and the chair D. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, what?
The DM chair is gone. Regular DM's back.
Yep.
We have Pillow Chop and the chair DM.
Come on, Pillow Chop. The right color. Sneak attack.
Oh, fuck you up!
Sneak attack.
Well, fuck you up.
Smaller, feistier, cuddlier pork chop. Okay, so
So you want to go to Urk?
I'm thinking you said they're near. The path winds like near Mirestone towards Urk.
There's multiple routes. You can either go along the Frostfall River all the way to the closest off-point junction to Urk and then go west from there. Or you can go up towards Harmstead, around Adowich Loch, and then northeast through the hills to Urk. Both are about the same distance. Both are different terrain.
I guess.
The Frostfall River route is a lot better traveled. People...
We have a flying carpet.
We have a flying carpet. And it's only two of us, so it's under its weight limit, meaning it can move full speed.
True.
Right?
It's 40
Yeah,
feet.
well-
You're like 60 pounds.
Yeah. What is its full speed? Actually?
40?
40. So, if you can you see what I'm measuring?
Yeah. Yeah, so what it would be a straight shot
If we were flying.
if we were flying, right? Like we would go like here, like do kind of this type of deal,
That's
or
true. Yeah, you would basically just go straight there. So, that's about 240 miles.
divided by 40.
What's 40 feet per second? So 40 divided by 6, 6.6 to miles per hour. Feet per second to miles per hour is 4.5 miles an hour. So 240 divided by 4.5.
There's no roads
That's
required.
75 hours of active travel.
That's like
Yeah.
a week.
Maybe go
Yeah.
ice can there.
That'd be like 10 days one way.
You think Galactic can send us there? Or maybe there's a teleportation circle there? We can go from the university?
There may be. I'm not sure. Since you do know that Urk is like a pretty big city compared to like Harmstead, so they may have associations.
I guess we can inquire to see if, or under a guise, of course, if Latesha has a teleport circle to Urk.
At the Mage College,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah. Let's inquire about that, I guess.
All right. So, you all head to the Mage College and ask around who's doing that.
Port.
I guess Porkchop will do that with a much different disguise.
Okay.
No longer a sailor. I am now a learned individual, kind of the more stereotypical, like, tall, skinny, little, like, gaunt in the face,
Sure.
dark eyes.
With the robes, I assume.
Huh?
With the robes of the mages, I assume.
Well, not necessarily, like, of a certain color, but, like, I'll just wear, like black robes.
Sure.
I think that means something.
Does it?
It's one of the... Without, like, a color band on it, it doesn't signify any type of magical school that you're associated with. But, yeah. So you walk through. Just make a investigation check to find someone who would have that information.
Nat one.
Now,
Wow.
no, yeah, you ask around, and, like, people seem busy. Don't want to talk to you.
Can she have advantage since she's from Lutetia and spent a lot of time here?
And then now I'm spent time at the Mage College in the dorm.
No, I mean, like, you know that there is, like, plenty of resources here if you wanted to go, like, read some books or look at, like, a directory or something. There might be just asking people. People are very busy, but there might be other methods.
Can I just go through the teleportation, like, circle?
There is the really big one, the sigil right in the middle of the main hall, where you guys have teleported to multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
It's
we,
more
like,
of,
talk?
like, there's no one, like, there. It's just, like, in the middle of the floor. It's more of, like, it's like a one-way kind of come here versus as opposed to, like, go from here.
I'm like, okay. Let's go look in the library, not the library, like, there's got to be a directory of the places where we can teleport to. Somewhere in the teleportation facilities, right?
Make another investigation check to find something useful.
There we go. 28.
28. Yeah, you walk around, you look on the walls, eventually you do find your way to what appears to be like a small library that has like just record keeping for the city of Lutetia. And you dig around, you do find a list of teleportation circles and their connections across the western half of Kamouine. There is a teleportation circle from Lutetia to Uthorin, from Lutetia to Moduli, from Lutetia to Brightshore, and Lutetia to Nomiopolis. There are no direct connections to Urk.
Mm-hmm.
You get frustrated at that, and you flip around, and you eventually come across a list of like guilds that are present in Lutetia, and scrolling through them, reading about them briefly, trying to get like information that could be useful. You discern that the League of Blue Steel is a group that exists in Lutetia, and their primary their center of activities is in Urk. They operate out of Urk and most major cities on the western half. In fact, you remember there was a quest that you didn't undertake for them about getting some scorpion stingers on behalf of the Breathless Guild. But you.
Oh yeah. So that
I'm
was
going to.
they had submitted the job.
Yeah, they were like the kiosk that you went to in Moduli was associated with the League of Blue Steel, which comes from Urk.
So they might know how to get there faster than we can.
I mean,
Is there any indication as to like where their guild is in Lutetia?
Yeah, you see that they have a permanent presence on the northwestern side of the Ivory Plaza, just across the street from where you are now, actually.
okay,
Well, let's go talk to them.
sure.
All right,
Close up shop here.
Good.
March on over.
head west to the League of Blue Steel. When you arrive there, you see it's a guild hall with a massive bone skull hanging over the doorway. You see, it looks like maybe some kind of moose, like a gargantuan moose. The horns, these massive, thick slabs of bones protruding up from the skull. But anyway, it's over this like kind of Viking-style guild house. And as you enter, you see a dozen or so individuals wearing like heavy armor, walking around, bartering, trading, and all around the perimeter of the room, like all of these decorative trophies of monsters, of where they're from or what they came from. You don't entirely know, but you see strange pieces of bone and fang, skeletons arranged in like a museum type way. It's pretty interesting. But you do see one person with the logo of the League of Blue Steel emblazoned on the chest, sitting behind a desk. He looks open. He's a half-orc.
Nice. Stride on up to him and ask him if there's any way at all that he knows of to get to Urk in a timely manner.
Says, looking to go to Urk. Well, I would think the fastest route would be to rent horses and go along the main trading route east along the Frostfall River. With a quick stop in Frostford for supplies, I believe you can get there in about 5 days.
That's. I guess I want to say in Orcish that won't do. We need to be there much faster.
Do you have any other?
Do you have anything that could help? Anything that could help? Yeah. Any information or routes or resources?
Well, I mean, we do have like emergency contacts. If it's like really important, perhaps you could meet a representative midway, or like just talk with them directly. But if you want to go there yourself, if you know a really good mage, that could be helpful.
Yeah, why can't Galaxia just send us there?
Well, she's never been there.
But
So,
you know
like,
where it
She
is.
can plane shift and do her best. Demiurge may also know how to accommodate her.
Well, because he knows teleport, right?
Yeah.
So we could say like, we know this is 200 miles
Yeah. If you have it on the map,
or
you
100
close.
125. Yeah, say like 150 miles north, and then 100, and then like 50 miles east.
Yeah.
Can teleport do that?
Yeah, pretty much. He can look at a map and he can do his best, and he rolls for it, but
Right.
you can get close.
Okay, so then I guess we can try to get Demiurge to do that.
We're
for us?
wasting our time here. I mean, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You're welcome. When he turned to go away, he says, be careful. I heard there are some tensions in the area last time I'd heard. I don't really know what's going on, but our usual communication and trade with Urk has been shut down the past couple days, so might be something going on there.
Do you know to the extent of which this, how close they've gotten, or how?
I have no idea what's going on. I just haven't heard word yet. We're waiting to hear on an update.
Do you know who would possess this information, or when this information would be attained?
No. I'm just kind of low on the ladder. Usually we get a sending message once a week from our connections back there, or we just have people on a trade route that come through and they update us, but there hasn't been any new people or any update in the past couple days, so it could be nothing, could just be a delay, but just be careful.
Thank you.
Useless. Turns away.
Well, I guess let's head back and talk to Demiurge to try to do the...
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's go back home.
Maybe we would need... what spell level is teleport, and how many times can he do it?
You can do it like a couple times a day, and it's
Okay,
like 4th or 5th level.
We might need to, like, go 45 miles or whatever and like survey the area, go another 45 miles, like to see where Edric and like the encampment is, right? Because if we just overshoot and land in Urk, it like does us almost more harm than good.
No, we'll be able to find him from there, right?
Well, this thing is, what if he's not all the way in Urk? Like, he's not going to be in Urk. There's going to be like front lines somewhere between, is what I was imagining.
Ideally, probably within like searching range. Like, you fly up, you can see for miles.
Oh,
like,
yes.
You'll be able to see him.
Demiurge can only do that once a day. It's a 7th level, I was mistaken.
Plus, like, he would have to come with us.
Does he have to go with us?
If he's going to do it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, he has to go back.
Well, he couldn't, like, teleport us, right? Like, do the dimension door type thing and shove us through?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
a second.
you have to come.
So, he can teleport you to a undisclosed location with teleport, and then he can bring himself back with teleportation circle, which is like a quicker, cheaper version when you have a destination that's, like, defined.
Right, like Lutesha.
Yeah, to Lutesha.
Okay, so, like, we could do that, get ourselves, like, 75% of the way there, and then it would be, like, what, a half a day's travel on the carpet?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
You begin walking back to his mansion in the Silver Oaks. You cross the Ivory Plaza once more. You see a small platoon of Crimson Cloaks walking around doing their business. But on horseback, kind of riding above them all, you see an individual with his helmet off who is kind of surveying the crowd with an odd expression. Thuzzal, you recognize this individual as a man named Hazel, one of the Grasslanders from your original division, who seems to have been elevated to a higher status than when you were serving with him.
Makes sense. It's been some time. He's one of them.
We're killing him too?
The guy that was no. Follow him.
You can't actually whisper, because he has to hear you.
Oh.
Well, it's a busy... That's true. But yeah.
I mean, like, the DM has to hear you.
Right.
Porkchop, like, it's one of the guys. Let's follow him. Like,
Follow him where?
I don't know. We figure out where he's going.
Are we killing him too?
No, just information. We're not like, let's just follow him, see where he goes.
Oh, wait.
So let's like try to be sneaky and like, you know, follow like parallel on a different road or something.
It looked like we were going that way anyway.
Both of you make either a deception or a stealth check. Your pick.
Stealth, please, because advantage.
It's like, do you want to look casual or do you just want to not be seen?
Not be seen, 28.
28.
I guess also not be seen. 20 not.
Me and Porkchop, be in the stealth.
Yeah. No, you guys are fine. So you follow the group. Some split off and go about their work, but you keep a distance. And eventually, Hazel rides. Clunk?
Yeah.
Hazel rides back to the northeast corner of town and dismounts his horse at the garrison, the barracks where all the Crimson Cloaks are kept.
Why did we follow him?
He ties his horse up and walks into the captain's quarters, a smaller building next to it that's reserved for people of high rank.
Thuzzal, why did we do this?
We now know he's a captain, which means Predators and higher rank than him. So Predators will be more than a captain.
Why does that matter?
Because we can figure out where the people that are higher rank go. And go to that place that you can be.
Get your butt back over here. This is your mission. Huh?
I don't know what's going on.
He like walked away to get curry and is now just like taking a very long time to get the curry.
Oh man. Last night, Grace and I made a pizza in the cast iron, and it was so good.
Nice.
Like, we did bacon, spinach, mozzarella cheese pizza. So like we cook the bacon in the cast iron first, you wipe out the excess, but you leave like a thin layer of bacon fat in the cast iron, then you put the pizza dough on top of that, and like I don't even know, it was just Winco, bread dough for pizza making. But like yeah, just the finish on like the bread and the way the cast iron cooked it was just so good. I've never made pizza at home that had that like level of finesse and refinement in the pizza crust.
And cast iron pizza.
Grace just sent us a picture. Wow, that looks really tasty.
Yeah, exactly.
That's impressive. Try that.
That's really funny. It's like cast iron pizza.
Really like.
Galaxia has entered the chat.
Yes.
Anyways.
All right. Okay.
You went back to the barracks. Like,
that gives us some information that we know that he went to the captain's quarters, meaning that Edric Gunderson is going to be a higher rank than him. So we know there's going to be like whatever we've narrowed down where he will be in whatever place that he's in. He's going to be in like the brigadier's quarters or the general's quarters. He could have been a captain, or lieutenant, or something.
Where you knew he was a general?
No, we didn't.
You would know that, like, before, when you worked with Gunderson, he was a general and high-ranking individual within the army. I have to look at the rankings or whatever. But you anticipate that he's been elevated since then, as this guy apparently has as well.
Right, and we can kind of extrapolate, like, if this person went so many ranks, Edric probably went X number of ranks as well.
Like a linear system?
Yeah.
Or is it like logarithmic? Like it takes that much more time to get to the next one?
That's true, I think.
Yeah.
So we can kind of figure out.
So you've been stealthy this whole time. You see the garrison, you recognize it, you spent some time there yourself, but you do see him going off to like the captain's quarters by himself after a tour.
We could go get him. Tell him. Tell us where Edric is.
I mean, that requires us like having somewhere to bring him and like
No.
We just landing.
We just go get him.
No, we're not just gonna go jump him and not get caught for it. We're going back and we're gonna go find Edric the good old-fashioned way. Calm your tits,
It's taking too long.
We're going back to talk to Demiurge. Come on.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so
Head back to
you leave it as is, and you return back to Demiurge's mansion. He's finishing up with Galaxia. It looks like they were both writing like this long script on a scroll, and they're comparing notes. And she's currently hanging away at this tuning fork with like a tiny little jewelry chisel and hammer. And he's like, I think it needs to be more of like a fiery shape. And she's like, oh, it's fine. He's like, no, it's not. And they keep arguing for a bit, but you implore him for his assistance. He says, oh, certainly, if this will help us properly get a little further along in our signed contract, I'd be happy to assist. If this is unrelated to that, I'd be happy to sign a different contract to making that help.
Or what about just we could pay you for your services, I guess?
True.
Teleport spell goes for like 100 gold each, like, you know?
I have been running a little low on the caviar. I suppose I can make it work. Come here. Where are we going? He pulls out a map.
I want to say, like, that hilltop right next to Earth, like, just south of Earth.
He says, all right, I've never been, but I can probably get you there. 200 gold, please. No contract necessary.
Hand it over.
All right. So you pay 200 gold to him for his services, and he says, all right, I'll be back shortly, Galaxia. Don't wait up. And he casts teleport, grabbing your all's hands and whisking you away. He rolled a 1 on a D100.
I was gonna say, is that 100 or bad?
It was a D100, he rolled a 1.
Is that terrible?
Is that like
or
the
really
worst?
Good?
Did we just die? Was that like, did that just kill us? That can't kill us, that would be a red.
As you're flying through time and space, you feel like the world kind of shifting around you, swirling images. Then the only thing you feel is Demiurge's hands like holding both of yours. All of a sudden, everything like twists, and you feel like you're suddenly rocketing like 180 degrees in a different direction.
Oh
no! And
that's bad.
you feel each other's fingers beginning to slip as you're trying to hold on to each other.
Oh no!
All of you take. Let's see. Oh, since it was a nat 1, you all take 23 force damage. As like you feel like you slam into a brick wall and are yanked away backwards, like tumbling through space. He has to roll again.
I want my money back.
Mr. D, you suck.
51. All right.
Is that? What are these rolls?
51. Let's see. He has
100 even.
just the description. All right.
What does it mean?
Okay.
Oh,
You
Never teleport over.
yeah.
you are zipping back and forth, and it's like very uncomfortable, and you slam down in knee-deep mud. And he's like looking around, he's like, this... Sorry about that, it was a little bumpy. This doesn't seem right. You look over...
Seem right.
You look over and you see the familiar walled wooden walls of off of Ebria, Thrigrin. You are now outside of Thrigrin, totally off target.
Where is
Oh my god, that's over. Where's the?
Wait, where is
Thrigrin
that?
is on the southern. It's not on this map. It's off the southern tip of Ebria, which is the western continent.
Oh my
What?
god!
That's where Chad's group is.
God,
He
god
says,
damn it! Yours.
He says, I'm sorry, it's been a long day. These magics are sometimes unpredictable. When I only am familiar through description, it doesn't always work the way I intend. Well...
Had a map.
We,
You had distances on the map.
he bends over and starts tracing something in the mud, tracing a large circle around all of you. He says, no worries, we shall return, and I can try again tomorrow.
I'm not paying you again for tomorrow. And if you don't get it right tomorrow, I want my money back.
He looks at you. Make an intimidation check.
$24.
He says, that's fair. I'm a man of my word. I apologize for not being able to deliver. Sometimes these things just don't always work out as intended. Here, he gestures you in. He finishes drawing a circle and sprinkles some stuff in the air. Waves his hand, the ground glows, and you all are teleported back to the central chamber of the Mage Hall in Lutetia. Mud splattering across the tile. He's like, ugh. He just waves his hands. The mud all flies off of him and splatters onto the ground. He's like, my bad, I'm sorry. And he waves the same on you. You're all clean now.
Like, I guess head back.
Demiurge.
Let's head back home because it's probably getting late at this point.
Well, that was like 15 minutes, but yeah, it's still like 2 in the afternoon.
Throughout the day of like scouting, talking to
That's
people, and like walking around.
Yeah, no, you walk back across, and yeah, he seems quiet. He's a little embarrassed, but doesn't really let it show. But you make it back to his mansion. He resumes his assistance of Galaxia, who's finishing up the day. You all can get dinner and relax and try again tomorrow morning.
I guess I'll cook us a meal, since I imagine Demiurge has a nice place.
He does. The butler insists that you do it for you.
Did he do it? I'm gonna like help the butler make better cooking choices.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage. This butler is like, this is my job, damn it. Don't mess with it.
Stop.
Oh no. Nat 1.
No, yeah, the butler like gives you a look when you're like, no, you should add some more of this spice, and he's like, get out. The butler
Whatever.
is not doesn't care about you. He is employed by Demiurge and will just do his job to the best of his ability. So you all get a long rest.
This evening, I want to go in search of poison.
Okay.
Also, after that, I have a thing.
Okay. Pork chop. You go out at night, 11 p.m. or so, and it's a different city after the sun goes down. That much you know. You wander around for a bit, looking for what?
I guess looking for somebody who would sell me poison. So some kind of like alchemist shop that is shady enough to do that.
All right.
And if I don't find that, like I maybe go try to find someone from the Blue Shield because I know they're into that.
Start with an investigation check.
19.
19. Yeah. So you head down to like the southwestern corner of the city where there's all kinds of supply stores, alchemy shops, things of that nature. As you wander through looking for an alchemy shop, you see one that looks like really up and coming, but its lights are off and seems to have gone to sleep. They're not open. But like 2 doors down, kind of in a sunken stairwell, you see a very small like alchemy shop that the lights are still on. It looks pretty dingy, grimy.
Nice. Perfect.
You walk up, enter.
I will disguise myself as shady character number 2.
Okay. Yep. One of many. And yeah, you stroll right in. Behind the counter, you see a very old dwarven woman with a long white beard, and she has like she's currently got like one monocle in it. And she's trying to like crack open a small little gemstone with a hammer and a pick. Stops when you enter, like eyes you, takes the stuff, puts it under the counter, puts her hands up on the counter, and says, "How can I help you today?"
Right.
I'm going to be very. I'm looking for poisons.
Poisons. Her eyebrows go up. She looks around. Waves her hand. The door slams shut behind you, and she's like,
Follow her in.
she takes you around the back corner. Says, real quick, you're not with one of those Crimson Cloak a lot, are you?
This is for that.
I'm like, well, actually, exactly the opposite.
Okay, good. I'll take you at your word. You seem trusted. So she takes you in the back and
Trustworthy. Shady fucking character.
She digs around in a crate, pulls out this like leather purse thing, opens it up, kind of rolls it out, and you see like a dozen or so vials just like slid into little slots. She's like, I have a little selection of rare materials I use for my alchemy, but some can be used as poison for sure.
Cool.
What are you looking
like
for?
Picking up and looking at what she has. I guess something maybe potentially like the Midnight Tears in that like it doesn't take effect until later. Also something that does a lot of damage, just like to be used in battle. And thirdly, something that could be like dosed over a longer period of time.
I'll have you roll a d20 3 times, and that will tell you what she has.
9, 12, 16.
All right. So as you inspect it, she only has 2 things that are better than what you can just make on your own. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a pale tincture.
Hey, did you look up?
Yeah, and serpent venom.
Serpent venom, huh?
Yes.
Apparently that's a song. Okay.
Okay. Succeed on a DC 16 con save or take 1d6 poison damage and become poisoned. Poisoned creature must repeat saving throw every 24 hours until the poison ends. The damage poison deals can't be healed by any means. After 7 successful throws, the effect ends and the creature. Okay, so this is like a long-term poison.
Yeah, it's like if you want to make someone have a real bad time, that'll be good for that.
Okay. I will probably take that. I'm down for that. What was the other one?
Serpent venom. It's a DC 11 con save, and it takes 3d6 poison.
That's not close, but...
Yeah, the DC 11 con save is like...
That's pretty
it's
rare.
too low. Yeah. And then, even then, 3d6 is not that much. So I'll skip on that one, but I'll take the pale tincture.
All right. She says,
Can I bargain with her a bit, though?
Yeah. She says, 300.
Try to talk her down a bit. Oh, I had advantage on persuasion.
That's right. It's your freaking card that you drew.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So dumb.
Okay, that's a 30.
Yep. She's like, oh, okay, what's your counter offer?
Well, I'm going to tell her, first off, that this poison is... I figured that she didn't like the Crimson Cloaks. So this poison is intended for one of their leaders who has committed war crimes and atrocities beyond your wildest dreams.
Stop right there. I don't want to hear any more. I heard nothing. Looks around again. She says, 150. Slides it over to you.
Deal. Sweet. Okay, and then I'll wander back unless something really cool catches my eye in the underworld.
All right, yeah. You just wander back, keep an eye out for anything interesting. Make a perception check for me.
She does like those. I always forget my perception, so I don't do it that often. 21.
Yeah, you go and keep an eye out, but, nah. I mean, there's the average, like, beggar in the street who's asking for coin, and the, occasional person out strolling late at night, and the guards with their spears keeping an eye on you from a distance. But nothing stand out.
Nothing insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thuzzal.
So Thuzzal during this night wishes to try to really kind of feel the tattoo and the one of the shimmering leaf, and try to commune with Ragnadod to ask a favor. He feels that Ragnadod could give him the tools to make this the event in the days drawing near very entertaining.
All right. Make a religion
Okay.
check for me.
Religion?
Something Thuzzal has literally never done.
Nope, because he rolls a 5.
Yeah. You sit there in the darkness as Pork Chop is off doing whatever, and focus on your tattoo, trying to like reach out, connect with this entity that seems to have an interest in you. Strangely, nothing.
Not there.
Just silence. You don't feel
Okay.
it at all.
I'll try again. Try again tomorrow morning or night, whenever I can.
Just start monologuing about your revenge plot. Maybe he'll notice.
I'm just gonna be more aware of the tattoo that's on my hand.
All right, yeah. Keep an eye on it. Keep it in your mind. Well, you all get a long rest and wake up bright and early the next morning on the 22nd, and I will come back in a second.
All right. The curry was really good. Even the broccoli, like
Just having those potatoes is fine.
it was, but like
But potatoes are delicious.
it was delicious, and I think the texture of the broccoli and the character of actually translate maybe fish being added. So that's in addition to carrots.
Addition to carrot. Now, you really want something sweet.
There's chili
Right.
beans, there's lettuce.
There's like,
Is it ready?
so, I don't know. It might be kind of liquidy, but I'm okay with it.
Thank you. I was about to say hello again, Twitch chat. It seems to just be us.
Just you and me.
Just like old times.
The Twitch chat of just you and Galaxia.
Yeah, if that. I guess there's 2 people, so it's probably just me and Galaxia.
All right, you wake up early next morning. You can try and communicate through your tattoo again if you'd like.
Sure. Another religion check?
Yeah, another religion check. If you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, 13 this time.
13. You focus once more and kind of rub the palm of your hand. It's currently an interesting sort of deep red hue, and you attempt to connect with this entity. You go over these things in your head, and you don't get a reply, but you just get this general sense of, like, approval? You're not entirely sure. Like, there's just this, like, you feel like whatever you're trying to convey is being heard, but not being prioritized right now.
Makes sense.
Potentially, he's busy. You don't entirely know.
Doing nefarious things.
You just kind of get a vague, like,
Yeah, what? In a minute. Like, I'll get to you. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I guess Porkchop will try getting teleported again.
But how does sending work? Is he sending Dragonfly?
Probably.
Well, I can't, and Galaxia's never met him, technically.
True.
But if Galaxia puts sending in your ring,
You could, yes, you could do sending if you wanted to.
Okay, I guess the ring is going to be cycled a couple times during this, so...
Sure.
I guess, yeah, I'll ask Galaxia for what level is sending.
3rd.
Yeah, well, he did... I'll try again in a little bit, because I did just get kind of like an acknowledgement, but I don't want to obviously be like pushy about it,
Sure.
right? You don't demand things from your patron.
It's the other way around.
an opportunity.
Yeah. As the day draws closer, I think that will be more of a strategy of like, hey, this is happening. I'm calling on you to do something about it if you want.
Sure.
All right, so I guess we're gonna try again getting teleported. Maybe do a little bit more reconnaissance and kind of just watch the barracks, see who goes in and out.
Do you want to go teleport right away in the morning, or wait after a few hours of scouting?
Probably.
Actually, we go.
But during the day, we're gonna be. Yeah, okay. We want the day to find the encampment that Evric's at. So yeah, let's
All right.
bright and early.
The next morning, Demiurge steps up and says, "We could try again. Again, no promises. I will do my best."
Well, as long as you can get us back if you screw up.
That's true. I don't anticipate waiting around to help you all if, once you get where you're going, I'm coming back, because I got to work on this.
Of course.
I mean,
That was the plan.
Of course.
Right. Well, shall we?
Not with that roll. Yes, let's.
Let's do that.
All right.
Fuck it up.
You all grab hands, and he jolts as you take off once again. However, the feeling is, once again, fairly uncomfortable. You end up slamming into something once again, taking 19 force damage on this morning along the way. Very bumpy ride. Let's see.
Damn it, Demiurge!
He tries again. Oh, no, not to take more damage, but to roll again.
Oh my god, why is he so bad?
It jerks in midair, and you all take 21 additional force damage.
Oh my god.
As
Demiurge.
you jostled around. Alright.
Thank you, Jesus.
After what seems like a very long time of being bludgeoned with rocks, you appear in midair and fall about 15 feet, slamming onto a grassy hillock and rolling a few feet.
Dexter?
No, you're good. You guys are dexterous enough. You just roll into it. He gets up, dusts off his robes, looks around, and says, yeah, I think this is the right place.
It's about time. Ow!
I'm sorry. It's difficult. I've never been here, so targeting this location takes some work. I think you want to go that way. He points, and you do see. You're on near the top of a hill. He points, and you do see in the distance a very far off river, but like a little bit closer than that, a very large city with a spiked wooden palisade all around it, and like multiple towers. Some of these are all like wood and stone towers with like wooden rope drawbridges between them. It's kind of like a jungle city. Like the way that it's constructed is very much like in cooperation with the natural trees that grow around here. You see pines like growing up to the center of the town. These massive pine trees that have been roped together and kind of buildings built into and around. It's a very like organic looking city. Yeah. Says good luck.
Can I ask him to put sending into my ring, or have previously have Galaxia have sending in the thing
sure.
so I can contact the...
Take this and second level magic missile, and he throws both into your spell ring.
Perfect.
He has second level magic missile in there too. Says, well, good luck. See you within 7 days. I believe that's when we'll be done.
We have, I think it's
How are we getting back?
6 days left, so...
How are we getting back?
Well, I figure either magic carpet or we send to Demiurge again and he teleports to the same place or to us.
Now that he says, now that I've been here, getting here will be a lot easier in the future.
But you might use your sending. And then how we're gonna get back?
Well, I'm gonna use the sending to tell him specifically.
You're not gonna talk to Ragnar?
How about this? I will check in every morning and see if you need assistance.
Very well.
Perfect.
10 a.m. every day. See you guys later. He draws a circle, stands in the middle, waves, and it explodes in a flash of light. He's gone.
Wonderful.
Charred grass is all that's left.
So I'd like to unfurl the carpet. Is it like particularly windy or cloudy, or what's the weather like here? Beautiful day?
It's raining. Gently drizzling. But like it's warm-ish.
Spring, okay. So maybe not like dark clouds raining, or like...
No, like Oregon weather, just kind of like drizzling, light overcast skies. It's like 10 a.m.
Off and on again, okay. I guess let's unfurl the carpet and try to get a little bit of elevation, but like not too much, so that we can try to get a lay of the land and see if we can see some sort of encampment or front line or something along those lines.
All right. Yeah, so you hop on the magic carpet and float up 100 feet. Just kind of getting the lay of the land. Both of you make perception checks for me.
14.
15.
15. You both look around, and you kind of fly in a small, like, quarter-mile radius, just kind of taking in everything. You do see Urk. You do see a rough gravel road that goes from the main city gates to the river, and then both north and south from there. But beyond that, you don't see too much.
I wonder if we need to go south.
You do notice that the main doors to Urk are closed.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so we have to figure out if he's not like within eyesight. We're on the south side of Urk, right?
Yeah, we're basically where his cursor is right on the map. You can see the Nick cursor.
Which means if we want to find Buddy Boy, we should go south. It's like fly south for like, I don't know, an hour.
Hop to like the next mountaintop or something like that with the carpet.
Okay, so you head south of Urk. You see, there's really no one like out on the road. No one going up or down. And you follow the road going over by the river and kind of just going down for an hour or so. After about 40 minutes, you come around a bend and you do see suddenly a small platoon of soldiers that seem to have barricaded the road. There is a pile of like recently cut down trees that have just been thrown in the middle of the highway, if you will. And you see maybe a dozen or so tents nearby, with one large tent erected in the center.
I think that might be our
That
spot.
might be our man.
Let's
Stay hidden.
sneakily get a little bit closer and
Go like
just
above
observe.
the cloud cover so that they can't see us.
If you want to go that high, you could.
That's really high up, though.
Yeah, it's like
I say stay in the tree line because there's like trees. There's like trees around us, right?
Yeah, it's pretty limited. It's mostly just like grassy hills, but there are large pine trees here and there.
Yeah, I'd say let's like stick to a tree line. We kind of get the idea of where it's at, so like let's sneak our way closer.
All right, both of you make a stealth check.
Can the flying carpet make a stealth check?
Well, you do it on the flying carpet. Come down low to the ground and just kind of go between trees.
19.
29.
Yeah, you easily approach. You get probably, I'll say, 200 feet away. You're now off the flying carpet. You're laying down, looking over the edge of a nearby hill, down towards this encampment that's kind of across the road. Yeah, you do see a dozen or so individuals walking about with the visible red capes of the Crimson Cloaks.
The Crimson Cloaks of the Crimson Cloaks.
And that tent that we identified as being bigger and grander, is anyone walking in that?
Yeah, we're doing some surveillance here.
Yeah, both of you perception check. Just like, if you just sit there for 20 minutes and just kind of take it in.
I mean, like an hour, 2 hours.
14.
19.
19. You relax and just kind of take it in for a while. You see Crimson Cloaks on duty by that blockage across the road. They just stand there and watch. There are probably 30 or so horses that are in full battle garb, but not actively being mounted right now. They're just sitting and grazing. Individuals walking to and fro. After about 45 minutes of just laying there, for one moment you do see a very large individual step outside of the large central tent, walk across to a nearby tent, lean in and say something to an individual, turn around and walk back and go back inside. He's quickly followed by that individual from that tent who comes in. Thuzzal, from this distance and the general size, you think it's probably Idric Gunderson. Specifically, as he turns to go inside, you see someone across the back, the infamous Skull Crusher, his giant battle hammer that he wields.
Okay. Pork chop. See that? The bigger guy with the axe, that's him. He's here.
Go kill him.
It's not that simple. So here comes the setup phase.
Okay, let's go back into the trees and plan.
Yeah, we're gonna probably make camp here for the day/night and continue watching.
Sure.
We can either ambush when they leave, if they're heading north or they're heading back. They'd probably be. We're gonna observe their movement to see if they're gonna move forward at all, or if they're gonna move back at all, or if they're gonna lead a party outward, or if they're planning to lead a party outward.
Okay. So you kind of chill and just have a lunch, keeping an eye on everything. Make another perception check, both of you.
18.
13 on this one for me.
All right. You keep an eye out. You take turns. And Porkchop, at one point, maybe 2 hours later, you see that other individual walk back from the central tent to the other side tent. And they're holding the hand of a very small individual, maybe about half their size, and they walk back to the other tent, go inside that.
Like a child?
Probably.
Or
maybe a halfling, you're not sure.
But holding the hand, why would they be holding the hand of a halfling?
There's an orc child or something like that. Did you see if they look?
Couldn't tell from this distance.
From the way that they're walking, or...
My bow has a scope on it. Can I use that to further investigate?
Too late. They went inside the tent.
Going forward.
Yeah, sure. You can use that to kind of keep an eye on things, spyglass it up.
Yeah.
Okay, another perception check for the next couple hours.
Do I say that that's advantage?
Nah, just normal.
No. Okay.
22.
Okay. I only got a 9, so.
Yeah, you try using it for a while, but it makes your eyes hurt to hold that. Keep looking down at it for a long time. Beyond that, this really just seems like a temporary outpost that they've set up. A blockade to prevent anyone from going up or down this road. For what purpose, you don't know. They just seem to be camping here. After 4-6 hours of watching, nothing really has changed. They're just kind of going about their business. The guards change every hour to avoid being too miserable in the drizzling rain. But other than that, you don't see Gunderson again, and you don't see the other individuals. They just seem to be in their tents, keeping out of the rain.
I think it's time to take it one step up. I need to get in, and I think the best way to do that is wild shape. Because, like, who's gonna care if there's, like, a fly flying around, right?
Or a small bird, like a blue jay or hummingbird type.
Well, that's weird, because you can't get inside of a tent as a bird. But, like...
Right, yeah.
I think an insect, because, like, a mouse also is kind of, like... It can hide, but, like, if you see a mouse, you're gonna try to stomp on it. If you see a fly, you're gonna kill it, right?
Where you're gonna, like... yeah, okay, you could do your fly with your crazy 56 AC.
Yeah, so we looked at the fly as a beast.
Oh my gosh.
Like, dumb. You have, like, 1 hit point, but
Yeah.
you
One
can't
hit point.
ever get hit.
56 AC.
A fireball would do it, but yeah, getting smacked.
Yeah, with its area effect, it's useless. I guess what's a fly's con?
And their dex is also a stupid high. It's like
Yeah.
28 or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, so I think I'm gonna wild shape into, like, a fly, and then just go, like, listen at Edric's tent in particular, and then also just, like, fly around and see, like, what's going on inside each of the tents.
Get a layout.
You turn to the fly and begin to buzz your way over. Make a dexterity saving throw 3 times.
What?
3 times?
It is pouring down rain.
Oh, shit, I forgot about the rain.
Wow, I literally rolled a 3 and 2 5s. But it is +8.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, but it's for the fly.
As a fly, do I have crazy dex?
I think you have like a 26 dex or something, so plus...
As long as it's not a nat 1.
I stat.
I would say it's still like +8, I would say.
Attack fly?
No, they're all homebrew nonsense. I'll just say it's +10.
Okay.
+10 flat because it's a fly.
Alright, so 13, 15, 15.
Yeah, at one point you do get, like, knocked to the ground, but you're a fly, so, like, you don't really take any damage from that. You're just like, oh, gosh, a little disoriented by the
Water.
heavy drops of water all around you, but you kind of crawl the remainder of the way, waterlogged.
I'll think this through.
I forgot about the rain.
Just like all of the mouth.
Where are you going?
First to Edric's tent.
Alright, you go straight to the big tent, and there's a plenty big gap around the bottom that you just crawl under and climb up the wall. Make a perception check.
22.
You survey the inside of the tent, listening the best you can with your little fly ears. This is a large war tent. In the center is a very large table covered in a map with, like, a couple daggers stuck in it and lots of little pieces. You see up against the wall is a large cot and another desk next to that. There is a temporary chair, like a folding chair, kind of put out in front of it. You see the hulking form of Gunderson, warhammer lit against the side of the table, currently scribbling something on, like, looking at his notes on the table. Beyond that, there's, like, a couple chests and food, a couple barrels probably filled with rations or food of some kind, but nothing terribly interesting. He's the only one there.
As a fly, can I read?
Can you what?
Can I read?
Well,
Like,
so
can I go read what he's writing?
it's different from polymorph in that, like, with polymorph, you actually, like, you gain the intelligence and, like, stuff of the creature you become. So the answer would be no. But as a druid type thing, which is what you're doing, you retain your cognitive abilities despite being in the body of a fly. So yes, you can.
Like, go buzz to, like, the top of the ceiling and, like, or the top of the tent and, like, look down on what he's writing.
I would say from that distance it's too difficult to make out.
I will go lightly and stealthily land on top of his hair.
He has no hair, he's bald.
Oh no!
Armor?
He has blade armor.
On, like, his shoulder, I guess.
Or like on the the back of his weapon, his famous weapon.
But it's
Sure.
sitting on the side.
Oh shit! Okay.
So someone can't see me directly, but also not on his skin.
Right. So you land on his shoulder as quietly as you can. Make a stealth check with disadvantage. As a fly, which you would not get your insane bonuses.
Huh?
I don't think you get your insane bonuses from that. Just you get like what, plus 10 flat. So
Well, my standard bonus without the ring is plus 13.
yeah, we'll just make it plus 10. Just plus
Sorry,
10.
17.
Still good enough. So you land there. Doesn't seem to notice your presence. Focused on scribbling. It's kind of warm in the tent. You see a big bead of sweat kind of going down the side of his face. Make another
What's he
perception check.
19 plus 4, 23.
23. With that roll, you can definitely read what he's writing. It seems to be some kind of journal.
Journal.
What's he?
Yeah.
What's he saying in the journal?
You kind of begin to see in the middle of a sentence promising developments with the pursuer, potentially beneficial for military applications, widely useful in a variety of circumstances.
Sounds like some tech.
Seems to be almost complete. Waiting on a final shipment of some kind of scorpion tail reagents obtained by the Nicotiana.
Who?
Nicotiana, that's what he writes. New paragraph. The Melangina has been supportive of this endeavor and provided a variety of unique and useful interfaces with the Warforged technology and some of his own personally developed tools, waiting to get the final shipment as well.
Oh, wait, I need to write some of this down. Melangina is a dude and has provided unique and useful interfaces with Warforged technology.
And some of his own developments.
And then what was the other one with the scorpion tails? What was their name?
Nicotiana. He obtained scorpion tail reagents from Nicotiana.
Tiana.
Yeah.
Scorpion.
So the contract that you would have fulfilled would have helped.
Yeah,
Shit.
would have helped him do some crazy.
It's all
stuff.
connected.
And then what was the last thing? The pursuer.
He just refers to something, the thing that they're working on as the
That
pursuer.
was it called. Okay, yeah. The pursuer.
Shit.
Some technology that they're working on.
Continues on. The other three have been providing substantial monetary support for this endeavor. I believe that their intentions are not in the interest of Lutetia, but their own. I'll have to make sure they're dealt with before research is complete.
Uh-huh.
The other three.
Before the research is complete.
Yep.
There's no indication of when he thinks the research will be complete?
Doesn't state that.
Yeah.
Well, he just says, like, waiting for a shipment.
Okay, this is a broader plot, my friend. Can I go, is he continuing to write?
He pauses and kind of puts the pen down and stretches and gives himself a couple arm stretches. He's like reading over it, just kind of looking at the wall.
Alright, I think I'm gonna go try to check out the other tents and see if anything interesting is happening, and also want to look at that child / halfling.
Sure. Yeah, make another stealth check to crawl away without being detected.
20.
Yeah, you're fine. You fly away and go back underneath the edge of the tent, crawling across the open space and enter in through another crack on that other tent that you saw. Inside, it's actually quite comfortable in here. There are blankets and looks like maybe oxhide, like carpet kind of laid down on top of the grass to make it a lot more homey. You see a middle-aged woman lounging on a like couch type thing, like a really rough kind of cot couch, reading a book. And the opposite her, on the other side of the room, are two small people. They look to be human children that are currently. One is reading, and the other one is like playing with some rocks, trying to like stack them up. They look pretty bored.
Do they look comfortable? Are they happy?
Hard to say. They look bored. They don't look like they're imprisoned. They don't look like they've been hurt or anything. They just make an insight check.
Or starved or something? No.
Yeah, that's you just like, huh, okay. But overall, this seems to be like not really much of a military tent. This is like a comfortable like house on the move.
Interesting. Do I recognize any like facial resemblance to Udric? Like, are they related to him?
Insight check.
Oh no.
Ooh, 18.
18. There's two of them. The girl who's reading the book, you can't really say. The boy, just looking at him when he stacks the rocks, he picks up one of the rocks and brings it down and makes a loud cracking noise, and both the mom and the girl are like, ah! And he's like, sorry! Goes back to stacking them again. Just from that, in that moment, part of the facial expression, I get a brief hint of Gunderson in there. You definitely see the resemblance to the woman across the room, middle-aged lady. Seems related.
A family with him! You can't kill him if he has his family with him! Alright, is there anything else that I need to look at before I head back to you?
Oh, this is so hard.
Make a perception check.
14.
14. You glance around, look for anything interesting. Doesn't seem like it.
Alright, I'll head back over to Thuzzal and report that I found his family. And also all of this nonsense about the Melangia and the Nicotana.
Yeah.
This is a disturbing
How do you want to proceed?
turn of events. I don't know how I feel.
What are we doing, Thuzzal? What are we doing? This is your mission.
What time is it? It's a little later.
Yeah, it's probably like this time of year. The days are getting longer. It's probably 7 p.m. Sun's about to set.
I think we make camp here, continue watching, maybe you tiny hut, and we make camp. I need to think about this.
And you think about your life choices? Alright, sounds good. I would cast the tiny hut for us so we can be warm and dry.
Alright.
Wow, because I'll have an existential crisis.
Yeah.
You go a little bit further away and make tiny hut behind a tree, keep it dark where it wouldn't be detected, and you all make camp inside, sleeping, and if you would like, you can get a half, or one half full rest, getting half of those, up to half of your max hit points back, which I think would be up to full for all of you.
Yeah.
And you take a long rest and dwell on that, what you just learned.
Just found. Okay, so maybe we just do the scaring part.
Your call.
What do you think, Pork Chop?
It's your
I'm
call,
thinking-
man. Everyone's got a family. It doesn't change the fact that they're horrible people.
They're not.
You didn't learn any new information.
I know what it's like to lose your family. It's not okay. He's a horrible person. Maybe I can scare him straight. But I'm not going to take these innocent children's father from them.
Well,
They don't look... You didn't just tell me that they looked abused or imprisoned.
they're
or
not going to be
enslaved.
innocent for long under his influence.
That's why I scared him straight.
Alright.
Okay, and this also during that
vendetta.
night, I would like to try to commune again with a little bit more intensity this time, trying to let Ragnadon know that like the hours are drawing ever so closer.
All right, make a another religion check with advantage this time.
It's pretty good. 19.
19. You sit there, looking at your now neon green tattoo and really focus on it. Immediately, when you finish, like, hey, this thing's about to happen, you hear a voice in your head say, oh, lovely. Sorry I couldn't talk to you before. Where all those people gather in the civilization areas, it's much more difficult to get a signal.
Signal.
What, that sounds
I
fun.
need this person has it's more complex than it seemed at first. There's
It always
innocent
is.
involved, and being someone who knows what it's like to not have family. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, not even children of Edric Gunderson. I do, however, want to make this a memorable experience for him. I would like to ask a favor, and I can guarantee it will be entertaining.
I'm listening.
Are you familiar with, I guess, would Thuzzal know about things like thaumaturgy?
Yeah.
The cleric spell?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I wish to scare Edric straight. I want to deceive him and make it seem like the ghosts of all the orcish people he's wrongfully slain are haunting him on this night.
Inspired by Thuzzal's own experience.
A little bit, yeah.
His own ability to sleep due to the ghosts of his past.
Yeah. I want to, like, rattle the tent. I want to, like, make the candles flicker. I want demonic whispers or whispers in Orcish to be all around outside the tent. And then I wish to apparate in front of him and let him know why this is happening to him, and then vanish.
Well, that does sound potentially hilarious.
I have a feeling that an experience as such may scare him straight.
Make a persuasion check.
Uh-oh.
Is this? Oh, I guess I have seen Ragnar before.
Yeah.
Are you just like?
Well, I
chatting
guess
with
he's... This is ascending chat, right?
Well, this is.
Or he's like outside the tiny hut. I can go out and talk to him.
Yeah.
16.
16 says, I will watch from a distance as usual. Suggest that you do as you've planned. I agree, it could be hilarious and potentially helpful to you. I don't know about scaring him straight or whatever. That's boring. But if it would be potentially a show, I'm all for it. Perhaps I could be of some assistance. Here, my friend will assist you. And he stops talking. And you're like, what? And you look around.
What?
You don't see anything. And then you hear a little voice over your head say, hey, up here. You look up. There is a weird-looking squirrel clutching to the side of the tree looking down at you. It's got, like, silvery fur, and its ears are, like, 3 times longer than they should be. They go way up into the air. And it looks down at you and goes,
It's Momo!
I'm here to help.
What? Can you do the things that I was talking about earlier?
Maybe. And it goes, psh, and it's, like, on your shoulder. Like, it just, like, it wasn't teleportation, but it was fast.
Like pork chop
pork
fast?
chop
Like, much faster than pork chop fast.
Oh, yes.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. This will work. This will work. We'll make this work. I'm excited.
It says, me too. It, like, whispers right in your ear in a very uncomfortable distance.
Do I, like, feel him? Is he, like, heavy on my shoulder? Is he, like...
No, it's really light, like
This
a
is
bird
good.
or something.
This is good. I can work with this. Thank you, Ragnarok. I guarantee this will be entertaining.
Thank you for my demon squirrel.
Yes. Thank you for my demon squirrel.
Okay.
You know, I won't be here forever, but we'll make it a good time.
1 second, we get more water.
All right, I'm gonna get the demon squirrel.
The demon squirrel? Oh wait, I want more tea. Okay, goodbye everyone.
Goodbye, chat. Demon squirrel shy.
You can try.
Demon squirrel. Demon squirrel. Dang it.
Perfect.
Demon squirrel. There we go. Alright. I'm excited to scare the ever-living fuck out of Edric Gunderson.
Alright,
And-
so you
See if this works.
so it's probably like at this point, is this after the long rest, like the next morning or in the night?
I guess that could have been last night, like in the night, and then we could do this early in the morning. Like, you know, when everyone's asleep.
Right. To start the heckling.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big tent is in the center. Is it like I wouldn't imagine it's like within earshot of it. Any other tent is within earshot of the big tent, right? Like they're discussing things.
Yeah, like if someone like spoke with a loud voice, they'd hear it, but it's
Right, but like ominous whispering you can make out, right?
yeah, that would be quite enough.
Alright, I'd like to discuss my plan of flickering lights and ominous whispers and things falling over and, you know, wind and maybe even some fog or something. Squirrel now. With said squirrel buddy.
So, oh, yeah, I could probably help with that. Would this be good? And you just gone like in a flash, and then you're standing there like, where'd he go? You feel like the wind pick up around you, just kind of like.
He's just like circling
Yeah,
super
just
fast.
basically just making a little like vortex around you. You don't see him, you don't know where he is, but you know that the wind is suddenly circling around you and kind of and wrapping around you faster.
This is perfect. Can you move things, rustle grass, and you know, make ominous, whispery, scary things in
It
orcish?
appears like 1 inch away from your face. It's like I can do that. And you see like the tree like shakes here and a leaf falls down, and like a shrub just like shakes. Like there's 2 shrubs that are like shaking at the same time on either side of this clearing.
Just running back and
You
forth.
don't even know how it's possible, but you're like, okay, you can probably do stuff like that.
How fast is his movement? Is there a number? Or is it just like instantaneous?
His base movement speed is 150, and he is
Oh my
God.
he's dashing and doing other things to double and triple that. So
That is amazing.
That's hilarious.
Okay, this is gonna work. I think. Do you want to wait another day, maybe watch them, and then tomorrow night?
Well, I think you start, right? You build it up. It has to get more intense every day.
Yeah. I like the way you think, Porkchop.
the long
Alright.
game.
Play the long game. Play this out over the course of, 2-3 days.
There's also the option of I have this poison that I just picked up along the way, casually.
What? Like for this?
Maybe.
I mean, okay.
But it's like a long-term poison, so it only does a little bit of damage every day. and it will make him distinctly uncomfortable.
I love it. Will it kill him?
No, probably not.
I love it. You in on this, little squirrel? You want?
We have to figure out how to make him ingest the whole portion.
The squirrel appears right in front of your face. Porkchop says, "I'll put it in his food," and then zips away.
But like right before he eats it, so that he doesn't have a chance.
I'll put it in his mouth, and appears on Thuzzal's shoulder, and zips away again.
Okay, don't do that. Put it in his food.
I mean, just like walks up, squirt, runs away.
God.
This is amazing.
Okay, well, maybe should we leave it to his judgment, or should we tell him how to do it? I don't want to leave it to his judgment. Put it in his food right before he eats it.
Like, yeah. Scare him a little. We'll start with the scaring. We'll start dosing the poison, and we'll just...
Well, it's a one-time dose, and it lasts over a long time.
Okay, perfect.
It lasts for a week.
So we'll... Ooh, a week, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Long after we'll be gone. Good. So, squirrel friend. Do you have a name?
I'll put it in his mouth.
It appears on your shoulder again, and it says, "You can call me Zip," and it disappears.
Zip. Do I recognize... Wasn't Zip
Nope.
We've never met Zip before.
in the... Out of game, when we went to the Feywild, the little, like, squirrel thing or whatever that helped us before?
There's a pixie.
It was a pixie. It was Porkchop's friend, and it was called something else. It was another short name, but not Zip.
Okay. It wasn't Zip. Okay. Zip, your name is very fitting. What we're gonna start tonight. Actually, how early in the morning is it?
You tell me when you did this. It was probably 8 a.m. when you woke up, and
Okay. So it's too late now, but starting tonight, as the sun's going down, I need you to subtly, and not like all at once, start like making things fall over, or like, here and there, like really space it out, like make him paranoid. Make him start to wonder if he is going insane or not.
I can do that. It'll cost you though.
Wait, what?
I can do this for free. Zips around back and forth in the treetops, kind of stopping here and there.
What do you mean? What do you want?
My time is valuable, and it like yells in your face, and then zips back up to a tree and starts like chewing on a branch.
Okay. What do you want?
What you got?
Gold? Food?
What you got?
I can make good food.
No, I don't like food.
What do you like?
Shiny.
I see. So Shiny pulls out one gold piece.
Takes it, it's just gone. It disappears from your fingertips. He says, "No, not enough.
Well, how much is enough?
More.
Pull out 25
Gone.
gold.
He says, "Not enough."
When will this be? When? That's a lot of Shiny, Zip.
I like shiny, all of it. Give it now.
Pull out another 25.
Gone. He's not enough.
How much is gonna be enough? Pull out 50. I think it makes it
Gone.
100.
That's over. It's 101 now. He says,
Yeah.
He's been disappearing and zipping around this whole time. He suddenly appears right in the middle of this clearing in front of you with all these sacks around him. This pile of gold. He says, "This, 10 times this."
How much do I think?
That's 1,000.
Oh, you think so? There's 1,000. He wants 10,000 gold.
You gave him 100. He wants 1,000 gold.
Oh, he wants 1,000 gold. Okay. This is gonna be entertaining for you as well. I mean, can we work something out here, buddy?
I could just go home. My time is valuable. Ragnar's not paying me. You better.
I assume that Ragnar did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fine. But that covers this entire endeavor.
Can I take naps in between?
During the day, sure.
Okay.
All right.
Can I take naps? Yeah.
And I'll 25, 250, kind of just start putting it into a bag, a separate bag, and okay.
And just gone from your hand. Where, you don't know. The gold in the middle of the clearing is gone as well, and he reappears by himself. Says, "Okay, when do I stir?"
So where do you put that?
Doesn't matter. Where do I go?
Okay. So,
I'm gonna
as I
tell
said,
you secrets.
tonight, Zip, we need to start making him paranoid, start making him think that he's going crazy. I need things to fall over. We need maybe a whisper here and there, but like light, right? We're gonna start really easy, kind of ease into it.
How does this work? He goes, "Oh God, like this horrible, like evil voice just bellowing forth from this tiny squirrel in the middle of the clearing. He's like that, but like toned down.
Like 1/10 of that.
Okay. Well, I take a nap now. Okay.
You have to show me. Hold on. What do you think 1/10 is?
He does the exact same thing, but like literally 1/10 the volume. It's
Oh no!
it's uncanny.
How did you? Okay, that was actually. I'm not even mad. That was amazing. But I need like whispers.
Just make a persuasion check to communicate what it is that you're going for to him.
Oh. 13.
He says, "Ugh, fine," and proceeds to disappear. You hear like little snippets of that echoing from like corners of the trees and like from the little rocks behind near the trees and the holes in the ground. It's actually disturbing. Like you feel like it's a full like Sony, surround sound experience. These things echoing around you.
Perfect. Except, say these things, and I'll like repeat some like orcish,
Sure.
like, Edric's name, and like you did this, and like kind of some of the creepy stuff that I've been
Sure.
getting.
We're
Sure.
coming for you.
Yeah, but in orcish.
Gotcha.
Except that. And in fact, that was so good, I'll like throw another 100 gold out there.
You toss it in the air and like maybe like 5 inches from your hand, it just disappears from the air. It says, okay, I'll take a nap now, and then we'll do that tonight.
Perfect.
Okay, bye. And just silence.
Like, well,
Zip is crazy.
he's a demon squirrel. You have a demon squirrel friend.
He's more of a demon squirrel business partner. Oh no.
Oh, you just killed your demon squirrel.
Demon squirrel, no.
So you have the entire day ahead of you to do whatever until Zip takes his action.
I want to go try to do some more recon and figure out what the hell these people are talking about with their invention and what it does, and
Yeah, I definitely think that's a priority.
we're
We're gonna figure out what the hap is going on.
So I don't think it's quite time to use this yet, though, because I have a potion of mind reading, which I've been waiting to use to interrogate somebody about something important. But I might be a few days,
Somebody in particular?
potentially this guy. I don't think it's like time yet, though, because he would need to be alone for a longer period of time, and I need to be asking him questions.
Yeah, how long was it last? An hour or something?
Yeah, I think something like an hour. Detect thoughts.
Oh. Yeah,
Oh, it's only a
up to
minute.
Okay, well still that's 6 rounds.
So I guess for now, should I just try to do
more...
the same thing, this time turn into like a mouse or something?
Well, is it still raining?
Today, yeah, it stopped raining today. Still overcast,
Okay.
but warm and not too bad.
Yeah, so like do some more recon. We're gonna figure out what this is, because this is bigger than just terrorizing a big old trick bag.
Yeah,
Alright.
we go back.
Big old trick bag.
How long does my animal last?
As
Well,
long,
shit.
like hours.
Okay, so I'll just spend the day then, like hanging around camp and seeing what I can pick up.
Okay.
No.
Just make 2 investigation checks for like the several hours that you, as a mouse, you scurry around trying to look at things.
Okay, the first one is a 19, and the second one is a 25.
All right. Yeah, you listen into the conversations of the guards here. Overall, you get the general sense that a lot of the guys who are on duty here are like kind of annoyed that they're even here. You get the sense that they are frustrated, that they're trying to. You get the sense that like they don't really like why they're here. They feel like it's a move by Gunderson to provoke Urk into doing something violent. They're basically blockading the trade route between Urk and all the other cities south of here. And why, they don't really know. These individuals don't know. They're just kind of like, why are we here? This isn't like a good reason to be here. I mean, whatever, I'll do my job, but like, I don't know. They're just kind of annoyed.
They're not
happy that they're here.
Yeah, they're not.
We can use that.
Yeah, exactly.
You go back in and check on Gunderson at one point. He seems to just be spending a lot of time in his tent. You see him like, he does a thing at one point while you're watching him, where he just like lays down on his cot and kind of just lays there for maybe half an hour, and then like towards the end of that, you like keep checking in on him. You do hear him like murmuring, like whispering something under his breath. You don't know what.
Is it like a spell, like a rhythm, where like it's a...
He's just speaking, just saying stuff, like he's communicating with someone, but there's no one there.
Oh, he's communicating with someone.
Does he have like a patron or something?
Interesting.
What's he saying?
Yeah, can I hear what he's saying? Can I get closer?
Make a perception check if you want to try and listen in.
21.
21. Yeah, you crawl right underneath this cot and listen, and you hear the tail end of a short series of sentences. And what you hear is, glad to hear they've arrived. Inform... Second. Inform Belladonna and Tuberosum to release our asset. Looking forward to sharing the results with Anuum. That's the end of his speaking.
With Anua?
Anuum.
And
Stops.
Anuum.
Yeah, and it stops. He just stops talking after that. Just lays there.
Man.
Unwild shape underneath his bed and just like...
I just stab him. Just fucking shank him.
So, yes, he referred to, he said, tell Belladonna and Tuberosum to release the asset, and looking forward to updating Anuum on the results.
Do I recognize the nationality of any of these names?
No. Make an Arcana check.
I don't think I've ever done that before. 15.
Yeah. You, just in listening to them, they sound like code names. They don't sound like people's names necessarily. They're maybe more like, they remind you of like, from what you're learning, your brief learning period in the academy in Thorum was, you got some exposure to like the language of magic and like the terminology, like the more higher like scientific speak, and just the way that these words sound remind you of some of the more like highfalutin formality terms for things in magic and things in nature as well. Not the words that Porchop recognizes necessarily, but
like they're not their real names. They're just like, it's like being called like Tea Kettle or like
sure,
the snake or something.
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. You know, there are words that you think, because your study of like the weave and like the use of words to control magic, you sense that these are probably words that have significance, but what they mean in like the common tongue you don't remember or you haven't been exposed to.
Okay.
While I'm here and a mouse, is there anything in his tent that I can like fuck up?
Investigate.
I want to like
Knock something over.
Yeah, like knock through a wire, but there's no electricity. 19.
There are a couple candles that are lit. There is like, he has like a cup of coffee on one table and some food that's left out. There is his bed, his cot, and his chair. his desk and his large war table with like little pieces on it. You could go and like move the pieces around if you wanted to fuck with it.
Strategically move the
Oh,
pieces.
hell yeah. Okay, if he's still like closing his eyes on his bed, I want to do that.
Okay, make a stealth check to climb up on the table and start messing with his war table.
Not like knock him over, just like move.
Yeah,
them.
rearrange.
Yeah. What was it? Stealth? 31.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you're fine. He's like laying there, eyes closed. Breathing is regular, but not necessarily like as deep as you would expect from someone who's sleeping. He seems to just be like having a noon nap. But you go up there and you start slowly shifting around some of the pieces, arranging them in different orders, swapping some of them, generally just messing with the entire thing. After a while, when you think it's adequately messed up, you return to Thuzzal with your new insights.
Which were really nothing. Like, I didn't actually...
Well, we know that they were waiting for a shipment, and now they got the shipment, and they're gonna release something.
They're gonna release the assets, whatever that is. Is it the person? Is it a thing?
So, they're using sending to communicate this stuff. I'm wondering if they're probably gonna release the asset in Earth to try to cause, like, disorder, right? Disorganization?
Or is it like payment, where they're like, they've gotten what they want, now they're releasing their hostage or something?
Maybe. I think we should... Would it do us any good to get closer, I wonder? Right, like, get closer and observe, like, closer to the walls or whatever, like, perimeter they have, and then, like, retreat for our rests.
Well, I mean, you've been watching from a safe distance this whole time. The pork chop's been up and in the middle of it. There's not much else out of game. There's not much else that you can glean from all this. Maybe like a couple times a day, you see the kids come out and like go to the bathroom at the outhouse, and they don't really seem to go into Gunderson's tent at all. They stick to their own tent with the woman. But overall, that's all you really pick up.
We could try to take advantage of the fact that the guards were kind of pissed.
Maybe we can start, like, scrawling some, like, anti...
Gunderson propaganda?
Well, like, anti-Crimson Cloak propaganda to the guards, being like, hey, this is bullshit. We want to rise. Do you want to also? Like, make it seem like everybody else... Like...
Yeah, like, convince everyone else that everyone else is revolting.
And that they should join.
And really, we're the only ones revolting, but then at some point everyone's gonna get on board and you're gonna have, like...
Yeah, exactly. You could have him disguise, like, into someone that looks like the part of the Crimson Cloak. Right? Like, one into the ranks.
But they know each other, so you have to, like, take one out.
They don't know, like, all of each other, right?
How many people are in this camp?
There's probably, like, about 30 or so Crimson Cloaks. They wouldn't all necessarily all know each other, but they probably would recognize someone brand new.
I mean, you can try to steal someone's face.
What are our goals here? Are we trying to, like, fuck Gunderson up, or are we trying to, like...
You think about it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Like, yeah. Are we trying to, like, stop the technology from becoming a
I mean, I
thing?
guess now we're trying to figure out what the hell they unleashed. To release our asset. Look forward to sharing the results. It's definitely some sort of, like, chaos device, right?
The pursuer doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't. So, I'm thinking this might be becoming bigger than we want to deal with.
Just Gunderson.
Because the hero, in theory, like, after we're done getting Chad back, the heroes of Harmstead could come back to Earth.
But we have to slow them down enough that they don't start a war with Earth. Right?
Because
Like,
they would probably be fast, huh?
yeah. It's gonna happen before we get back. So, if we kill them, that would slow them down. If we start a revolt, that would slow them down.
Burn the place to the ground.
If we burn the place to the ground, I suppose that would slow them down, but Jesus fuck.
Well, not like, obviously people are going to survive, but like, we're going to like have to, like, we burn the wall down, we burn, the supply tents down, like, We make it a coordinated effort. I, like, from this distance or from, like, a little bit closer at night, I could, like, fire flaming arrows to keep tents if you can tell me where they're at.
I mean, we can also, like, spoil their food and water to try to, like, make their lives hell.
Yeah. So, okay, we're thinking about, like, trying to slow down whatever this effort is. They're organized at this wall to, like, block trade routes, but if we can, like, create chaos in this camp, we can slow down whatever project that they're working on, because they're trying to provoke and have a war with Urk so they can outright demolish it, because it'd be like a 7-hour war.
Yeah.
Hashtag Half-Life reference for those in the chat. So we're thinking, like, have Porkchop sneak around with, I don't know, wild shape or invisibility or whatever, and, like, mark key places, and then I can, like, artillery flaming arrows or, like, destructive arrows to key spots and, like, destroy their food, blow holes in the wall, like, burn down, like, supply tents and key places, like, where you plan things, and, like, really, like, destroy key things to slow them down and stop them from this, make them more or less have to retreat.
But so the thing is that the work on the technology was not being done here. It was being done elsewhere, right? Like, they were just kind of, he was, like, managing shipments of things, but it wasn't like he was doing anything. So the work isn't going to be slowed down if we just, like,
I mean,
screwed his camp up.
I would think that, like, if something like that happened, Edric would then want to stop and reassess as to, like, what the hell's going on. Like, and he would say, like, hey, pause, like, I need to figure out what this is, and if it's a problem, because if it is, we don't want to be, like, fighting a war on two fronts. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can make us seem like some sort of rebellion amongst the ranks, or, like, some sort of entity in Lutesha, like the underworld being like, no, fuck you, or, you know, don't make it look like Urk is the one doing this, because then that just, like, that's the provocation that they're looking for. But, like, make it seem like chaos brewing or rebellion brewing from within. Because you're not going to fight a war on the inside and outside.
So we need to get the guards in.
So I think
on this.
I think either we get the guards in and, like, you know, like, do the thing where we convince everybody that everybody else is rebelling and, like, stage a walkout, or, like, you know, like, burn the tent, burn the place to the ground. Yeah, more or less like a strike. Like, everybody just, like, you know, gets angry and, like, burns everything and leaves. Or we do the thing where, like, again, like, I hit, maybe not from, what's in Murstone?
Murstone is another small town like Harmstead. It's outside the jurisdiction of the Empire. It's near Urk. It's just a small town on the edge of the lake.
Okay. Frostford is within, so maybe make it look like it's coming from Frostford, so we could, like, circle around to make it seem like whatever attack is coming from that direction. Right, with my flaming arrows, you're going to be able to see, like, where they're coming from. Right, you can haste me, and I can, like, one from here, one from over here, one from back there. Like, make it seem like a coordinated effort. And,
what do you guys
like, cause disarray. Me and Porkchop, I guess, are communicating with what to do during the day while we wait for night for him to do his thing.
I'll say that after, you talk about that for several hours. Around 7 o'clock, you're just, like, talking, and all of a sudden Zip appears on your shoulder once again and says, hey, time to go?
Hey, Zip, is it dark yet?
Yeah, the sun's setting right now.
Let's wait until the sun has just gets below, like, completely set, and then we will enact Operation Terrorize.
Okay.
Henderson.
Cool.
I'm bad at things.
Okay, but...
We might want to terrorize the guards as well, in that, like, if we make them nervous, they're more likely to rebel, right? But they're like, this sucks, I don't want to be here.
Yeah? Yeah, and gives him a little bit more commission to
widen his sphere.
Broaden his influence. So could you do that? Would you like to also scare... Would you like to... How are you floating right now? How are you in my face?
He's like hanging off of your ears, like his feet are propped up on your chin. He's just looking straight into your eyes, like.
Can you do that? Can you terrorize the outer guards with these scary things as
Sure,
well?
why not? I can do that. Fine. Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, but you watch the sun goes below the horizon. You watch as from a distance, like looking down at the camp. You don't see much, but you do hear like a distant like crashing noise. It seems like something falls over, and then you just kind of watch from a distance as like around the tent that Gunderson's in, you see some of the grass like flickering here and then, and like you see a guard come running out of the tent, look around, like looks at the sky, looks down, scratches his head, goes back inside. Over the next like 20 minutes, there is obviously some form of disturbance occurring within the camp. Whether or not it's happening so widespread and so frequently that you don't really have a good way to like say what it is or how it's happening. But every now and then you do see the faintest little blur of something going across the entire camp, like in an instant, just like from a distance. Very fast.
Pork chops like life goals.
Yeah, I'm like jealously watching. Someday.
But after probably half an hour of that, you're just like casually watching, all of a sudden you see the gray blur right in your face, just like attaches to your face. Says, I think that's enough. They didn't like it when it went, oh gosh, I'm rocking you, shut up for. Like again, just screaming that in your face.
I don't like it either, so I imagine they did. Thank you, Zip. Good work. We'll do it.
Nap time?
Nap time.
Nap time, gone. And
he just sleeps and runs and sleeps.
Yeah. He's like currently like constantly hasted, so like every like hour he just has to like drop dead and fall asleep.
Well,
okay,
it seems like that phase of your plan was probably successful. What happened, you don't entirely know, but you expect that he was causing chaos.
Perfect. So I guess it's time to try to get people. You can message.
Well, I want to like incapacitate one of the guards in like a nice way, like give him diarrhea or something, and then like take his place at his watch.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh no, I can't hear you. I heard just bass. I mean, I know you're all about that bass thing, but we need some treble.
Sorry, 1 second. Can you hear me?
And also suggestion.
Can
No,
you hear me?
just bass again.
Can you hear me?
Just bass. Did your mic die? Did it unplug or? Oh no.
Gosh darn it. Can you hear me talking? Can you hear me talking? So dumb. 1 second. Okay. No. Can you hear me now? Ah! Shouldn't be like this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Well, I'm doing it through my speakers and my microphone. So, whatever. As long as this works, I don't care.
Right, yeah, I guess your headset just, like, died or something?
Yeah, it unplugged itself, and then, like, messed up the USB hub, and I guess Windows gets really confused about, like, audio playback whenever things get... I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's like unplug it, replug it, restart Windows, usually
Yep.
after stuff like that. Well, alrighty then. Oh, man.
Okay, so Zip has done his thing, and then what are you guys doing tonight.
So Zip does that. I guess tonight Porkchop's going to do some reconnaissance, probably try to like figure out how to impersonate a guard and like do so to like spread the seed of doubt.
Gotcha. Yeah, Porkchop can stay in the shadows around camp and watch people. Eventually, she gets a good feel for like probably at least half of all the guards in camp. She could easily impersonate one of them with their hat of disguise, or you could as well, Thuzzal. And yeah, if she wants to take action tonight, she can. Otherwise, she can just keep an eye out.
I'm not sure what she's comfortable doing, but yeah, maybe like have her. Like, well, we'll see.
I know what we gotta do.
Okay, what are you doing? You're sneaking in. You could totally sneak in with hat of disguise or something like that.
No, the proper plan. What I'm gonna do is go full on like stealth invisibility Porkchop. No wild shape. Go find. I'm assuming that in all the time that I've spent in the camp now, I know where like the lavatory is. I'm gonna go wait by the pee spot, and then when somebody comes, when one of the guards comes along, I want to cast suggestion on them and tell them that they
testing. I'm trying to talk to my microphone. Come on. Needs to work. Come on. 1 second. Okay. I'll just do it back to normal. This is so dumb. Okay. Sorry about that. I was trying to make sure it was working because the stream will be really weird if it's picking up audio from multiple sources and doing other dumb things. But
oh gosh,
it's fine. I think it might be feeding back into itself. I really hope not. Regardless, so you're going to cast suggestion from distance on one of the guards.
Yeah, I'm going to cast suggestion from like a hidey spot where somebody's going to be alone, and I am going to suggest to them that they start talking to the other buddies that they're on watch with about, you know, the rebellion that's happening, and like, aren't you so sick of being here? To let's get out of here. Let's, you know, what Edric is doing is not right, and we should either leave or like stop him. Like we need to take a stand.
Okay, so suggestion is one word, right?
It's a few sentences. Limited to a sentence or two.
Oh, I'm thinking of command. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, is there a save DC for that?
There is. It's a wisdom save.
Does a 17 save?
Ooh, if it matches,
It does save.
it saves. Oh no! Okay, well that's fine. So that one fails, but I'll do it again with the next guy.
Okay, so you see you do that, and the guard's like, "What? Who's there?" And like points in your direction, and you just dart behind a hill. They don't see you at all. You try again with the next guard that comes by. This guard rolled a 9. You easily whisper thoughts into their head about just trying to like sow discord and talk about revolt and.
Yeah, to basically start discussing with his buddies about revolt.
Okay, he strolls over to his nearest buddy and he's like, "Man, this stuff it sucks. Like Gunnarson's such a dick. We should probably just like start a riot or something." And that guard is like, "Dude, keep your voice down." What? And then the guy's like, "Yeah, like isn't this awful? We should totally just, you know, break loose of these chains, man, and like just go home." The other guard's like, "Keep your voice down. If you want to be court-martialed, Gunnarsson will literally have your head if he hears you talking like that." He says, yeah, I just feel like we should really be talking about this right now, you know? And it continues on that way, with him, like, having the discussion, the other guard being very, very like, don't let anyone hear you. You get the sense watching that they're terrified of Gunderson, and even though they have their opinions, would be very unlikely to actively go against anything he would directly command them to do. The chain of command is very, very rigid, and the respect they have for him is one of out of fear, but they do respect him.
From my hiding spot, how far away are they?
However far you need to be to cast that spell, so.
Well, I guess, yeah, I cast it on somebody as he, like, walked away from the group, so I don't know how far the group is.
I'll say 60 feet.
Perfect. I'm gonna message one of the ones who was like, dude, keep your voice down, and I'm going to message them in common. Hypothetically, if Edric Gunderson were out of the picture, you would go home?
He turns around and said, who said that? And the other two guards are standing there like, not me, no, it's not me. He says, what? He says, he crosses his arms, kind of looks at the ground, thinking, make a deception check.
Can you turn his voice up without turning music up? Where's the music coming from? 22.
22. Yeah, he says, well, I mean, we'd have to go back to Lutetia if he wasn't here. I mean, we couldn't do anything about it, because if we did something about it and then went back to Lutetia, we would all be court-martialed and probably drawn and quartered. So, don't want to do anything about it.
So I'm gonna message him again, so saying, don't lift a finger to help him, and you will be spared.
Make an intimidation check.
That's not good. 9.
9. He whips around. He's like, who's, what? He seems more confused than anything. Not scared, really, just confused.
Okay, hold on. I want to try one more time. What should I tell him?
I said repeat yourself, but it was pretty clear. But, like, are we gonna kill him?
I don't know, but I want the option. I'm trying to, like, seed dissent and make them think it's okay, because they're scared of him, right? I'm gonna message one more time and say, Edric Gunderson's time is limited. When the time comes, revolt or run.
Okay, make a persuasion check. And a stealth check.
Nat 20 on the persuasion.
Alright. He looks back and forth, like, confused, looks towards your direction, but you can't see you. You're just ducked behind a hill. As you look one more last time at that guard in particular, he seems highly conflicted, and as the other guards, like, are talking over each other, you see him, like, get up and start, like, whispering conspiratorially with them about things. He's maybe concerned about something. You're not entirely sure what. Alright, so you return back to the camp the second night.
I have sowed my dissent.
You have successfully put the seed of doubt and potential disloyalty into some of the guards. Whether or not that spreads will remain to be seen.
Well, I mean, you can only do it again.
Yeah, I can do it again tomorrow. Different guards.
So for the sake of speeding things up, you guys get another long rest, and it's the third day. You can do basically the same routine, kind of gradually upping the ante as you go. It's basically a given that Pork Chop will not be discovered or like detected in any way as she attempts to do this, because they don't expect it, and she is so stealthy that, yeah, the likelihood of her being caught, even if she like messes up, they see, they'll just don't know if they see because she runs away too fast. So, yeah, I'll say for the sake of expediency, the next day or two, you continue to up the ante, eventually giving that poison to Zip to cause him to poison Gunderson while he's about to eat. Zip informs you that he did so successfully, and Gunderson ate it without having any awareness that was put in his food.
Nice.
And about like 6 hours later, you see Gunderson stagger out of his tent and vomit into a barrel. And he staggers back inside. You see the woman go into the tent with him and a couple of the guards looking at each other concernedly. That night, Zip does it again, agreeing to up it a little bit and give Gunderson a bit more trouble than the night before.
More specifically on Gunderson, yeah.
Yeah. That night, you see the same thing, just like weird things moving about the camp and some of the guards being confused. And about towards the end of it, you see Gunderson stagger out of the tent, and you looking through your scope can see he's like drenched in sweat. He's got like his upper half of his plate armor like removed, and he's just got basic garb underneath that. He like looks up at the sky, and he's like looking around. He like walks around his tent, like lifts up the corner and looks at it, kicks at the dirt, like wipes his face with his arm, and, like staggers back into his tent. Looks like he's having a bad time.
Perfect. Do we burn the supplies down?
Like that's targeting too many innocents.
Are
Are they really innocent if they're following him?
I mean, it depends. They don't want to be there, so I would consider them innocent.
Yeah.
Right? Is there like can Porkchop convey to me? Ooh, maybe Porkchop actually because if I do something with arrows that's traceable technically, right? Like if I fire a flaming arrow into Edric's tent to like burn a hole in it so that it's windy and is super uncomfortable for the next few nights, even if they patch it, like, could you scorch an area to like fuck up his tent, make it even more uncomfortable in there? Like,
I mean, I can go like do slits in the tent, and then every time they patch them, just like re-slit them.
yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. So that night,
really terrorize.
late that night, you go in and just like cut like subtle holes in the side of the tent so that it begins to have like a draft coming through, and you just run away immediately afterward. The next morning, you hear Gunderson yelling at the guards like, what is this? Like, what is this nonsense? And the guards are like, well, I don't know. I didn't do anything. Like, I swear we were like keeping watch all night. He's like, double the guard. There are things here. Probably guerrilla orcs from Urk trying to do something. Keep an eye out. And they're like, okay. And later that day, you see double the guard patrolling. They're on double duty now.
All right, I'll mention to Zip to tone down on the orcish and have it be just like more ghostish than orcish.
Okay.
More demon.
More,
So
yeah.
what's the end game here? We freaked him out a little bit. He's like super uncomfortable. Like, what do you want to do with this guy?
I kind of want to confront him and let him know that, like, this could be... I don't know, I'm also flying by the seat of my pants, alright? Like, do we... I don't know, do I confront him? I kind of say...
Every morning you receive sending from Demiurge. He's like, you guys need to be picked up yet? And you're like, no. He's like, okay. And that's it.
Check again tomorrow, thanks.
Okay, one option is I could suggestion Gunderson to, like, come out and, like, come out of camp to meet you.
You could make it so that it could be, like, if you want the horrible hauntings to stop, like, outside the encampment alone, this isn't orc related or something like that. Or, like, this isn't Urk related.
Yeah, I guess we can try that. And then what are you gonna do when he's in front of you?
Give him an ultimatum.
All right. So at lunchtime
On the fourth day.
on the fourth day, I am going to sneak into the tent invisible Porkchop style.
Okay.
And
Gunderson
wait.
is like
Yeah.
is leaning like he's like sitting on the edge of his bed, like hand like in his forehead like this, just kind of like leaning over. You see sweat just beading on his face. He's got like 4 plates of untouched food on the table. He looks horrible.
Perfect.
Yeah, so from is suggestion sight, can I do it from outside the tent?
I think it's line of sight.
Yeah, fair.
can't see it.
You can see within range. I can hear and understand you.
Range 30 feet, yeah.
I'd like to be able to do it without him like looking at me, so I'm gonna cast it and then just kind of like step outside so that I'm not like in his line of sight.
Yeah,
Does that work?
you can like duck behind a crate, like do it before he looks up, go invisible again, and like tiptoe out if you want.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then the suggestion phrase will be exactly what Thuzzal said. If you want the horrible experience that you are having to stop,
Yeah.
come meet.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Come meet us at the edge of the forest, alone.
You say all that, and with his illness and the lack of sleep and general like wariness that he's been dealing with the past several days, you see him like jerk up and look around. He's got like a crazed look in his eyes, and then the spell takes effect. He stands up calmly, reaches over, grabs his warhammer, puts it up on his shoulder, and walks out of the door, turns and heads towards the edge of camp. The guards, porked up, you're visible, you follow, I assume.
Yeah, I'm gonna go invisible again and then follow him.
Yeah. You see him like walk past the guards. You're like, Gunderson, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry about it. Just keeps walking angrily. Walks up the hill towards where you all keep your camp. The guards, like, two of the guards look at each other, look at him. One guard like starts stepping forward. The other guard just puts his hand out, stops him, and is just like. And Gunderson just goes up the hill by himself, over the edge and down like another, half 300 feet or so to where you guys have been making camp. He steps into the clearing as per your instructions. That's all. You're out of sight. What are you doing?
Yeah, I guess like our location, our camp is like not exactly there, but like
Right, a little
kind
further
of
up.
way. How about this? Since we planned this, it's like a dreary, overcast day.
Yep.
I'm like hiding in like the bush part of the trees, the canopies of the trees where I can hide on the magic carpet, waiting to like pounce down from the treetops.
Zip style.
Almost zip
Get
style.
right
yeah.
up in his face.
So he walks into the clearing, warhammer on his shoulder, and like looks around for a couple seconds, blinks a few times, looks confused, and like turns around, looks back towards camp.
Suggestion's over.
Yeah, because he did.
He did the thing I asked him to do.
Right. Well, I guess it was supposed to be like at night, but all right. I guess at that point, I'm going to Misty Step like into the open.
Okay. Where?
I
Like
get,
in front
we
of
could have
him?
specified if it was at night. I said midday arbitrarily. If you wanted to be at night, we could have done this
Yeah,
at
you
night.
can delay
Well, yeah.
it until the night if you like.
Yeah, I guess that was the what I thought. I thought you had
Okay.
said like if you want this to end tonight, like or if you want this to end, go out into the woods tonight.
Okay, sorry. Let's
Yeah,
go back
so
in
you
time.
So it's
just wait-
night.
You just wait until like nighttime when people are trying to sleep to do this. It's all the same things happen. It's just nighttime. Zip has not gone out yet because you're doing this tonight, and
Yeah, I guess I
Listen.
call him off tonight since it's not really super effective.
so Gunderson stands there. You misty step down. Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm like behind him because he like turned around and started looking back at camp like
Yeah.
what? And I guess he just hears the like ethereal like whoosh.
Yeah, just like a
Oh,
wind
misty
whoosh
step?
past. So you hear the so you're just like standing there like doing nothing, or what are you? He's gonna probably turn around.
I guess like Misty stepped down and like being like standing there menacingly, waiting for him to like figure out what's going on.
Okay. He stands there looking back towards camp. You see the whoosh kind of like ruffle his clothing that he has mostly around his waist. He's like shirtless from the top down, just wearing like a rough undershirt, but he still has his like plated leggings on. Warhammer on his shoulder, and he says, without turning around, he says, maybe you're the one who's been tormenting me. And he swings around with his warhammer in a massive swing towards you.
I'm like 30 feet away, so like he
Wait,
misses.
what?
Or, huh?
I thought you were right behind him.
You're right behind
No,
him.
not right behind him. Like down from the trees, like in the open, like not like standing next to him.
Okay, well, he whips around and swings towards you, but I guess you're far enough away that it doesn't connect. And as soon as he locks eyes on you, he pulls it in and like goes into a defensive stance, just glaring at you. He looks confused. He stares at you and is studying your face. What do you look like? Are you Thuzzal?
I guess I was random human number 9 still. Okay. I will shoot back to Thuzzal.
Okay, so he looks at you. Before you do that, he's like, "Huh, not an orc. Who are you?" And then you slowly shift your face back to Thuzzal, and his eyes kind of get big, and he stares at you. You know that there's a long period of just confusion on his face. He still doesn't know what the heck he's looking at. And then something clicks, and then his eyes narrow again, and he's like, "Oh." He kind of stands up and puts the warhammer up on his shoulder, and he says, "It's been a while. Was it Thuzzal? Was that it, Lieutenant?"
Lieutenant? Was that?
I think that was formality, your rank was,
right.
Just it's very low level, lieutenant, anyone.
It's been a long time.
You're that one who caused that mess up in Harmstead years ago.
Caused the mess? Well, I don't think we should go into semantics, but your ways about the Orcish people end.
They end
here, now, and
forevermore.
And you will leave this place. You will leave Urk alone.
He looks at you and he turns and props up the hammer and kind of leans on a little bit. Pork chop, you're just invisible behind a tree, I guess, watching. Right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting until it's my time to assist in whatever ways required.
He glares at you. He looks like a mess. He's really pale. He's dripping in sweat, and he's his breathing's kind of heavy. He says, "Alrighty, and why would I do that?"
Well, isn't that your family in the tent?
Whoa! Oh, fuck.
He doesn't move. He says, "This comment does not surprise him." He says, "Perhaps."
I know what it's like not to have family, as you know about my past, I'm sure. I don't think they would enjoy the same fate. Losing parents or father, mother.
He just studies you. He looks like he's outwardly relaxed. Yeah. He's outwardly relaxed, but you can see that he's right on the edge of action. He's putting on a front of calm and composure the best he can, but obviously isn't. Make an insight check.
Oh, come on. 9.
9. He says, "You call me out here." You don't pick up anything beyond that. "You call me out here and mess with my sleep and threaten my family, and you expect me to just let you walk away from this?"
Oh, I expect you to more than let me walk away. I expect you to walk away from this entire operation you have. Your hatred against the orcs is cruel, pathetic, and unjust.
Thuzzal the diplomat.
Thuzzal the diplomat.
I nom him.
Yeah.
And you're a jerk.
He says,
go ahead.
He says, "Let me just stop you there. Those people are a threat to our entire empire, and have been for a very long time." He looks at
just
you
like
and says,
they were in Harmstead?
He looks at you and just he takes it. He's like, "Perhaps I was overzealous at that time, but innocent people in Harmstead, you cut down. Any who associate with terrorists are terrorists themselves."
You and the Grasslanders cut down innocents in Harmstead, and I'm supposed to let that let that slide. You nearly cut me down as I fled.
He does suddenly get a look of surprise. He's like, "Wait, you were there with the dragon, weren't you?"
The Gilleret. Yes, I do believe, and I do believe the bow on my back. These are remnants of that.
He looks at that and looks back at you, and he's like, "I see." There's a bit of a change in his opinion of you. Before, he was not at all he's just listening. He's like, "I'll listen to you," but he's not not the least bit intimidated by you. With this, there's a slight shift in his demeanor. He's definitely he's still listening and not really scared, but he's not being totally dismissive and totally ignoring whatever you're saying.
He realizes
there's a bit more of a threat here than he may have originally thought. He thinks quietly, says, "I'll tell you what you're gonna do, Thuzzal." And he's you see that the motors the gears churning in his head. He says, "You're gonna walk away from here. I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna get my group. We're gonna return to Lutetia. And Urk can resume its trade as usual, as long as they keep their more savage specimens out of our city. And that sounds like a reasonable solution here, wouldn't you say?"
so that you can go on and continue to kill and slander the Orcish people?
Maybe. He says, it looks at you, and he says, what is your point? What do you want? Are you going to kill me? Won't be
I'm
easy.
thinking about it. I really would hate for your children to grow up without a father, but really, what kind of a father would you be? What would you teach them?
He says, I don't teach them much. That's what the maids are for. Just keep staring at you.
Whoa! That changes a lot.
I think it does, actually. So you're saying they
Not very
don't see you often?
I am their father, and they will do as I command. My son is promising he should make a good captain one day. My daughter, I believe, has potential for aristocracy. I think there's a good opportunity there as well, but that's besides the point. I think it's rather low for someone to sit there and judge my methods in protecting the people that I care about, while simultaneously threatening the future of my family. It's rather...
Oh, I'm not threatening your family. Not their well-being, anyway.
Well, without me, what... They need
me. Do I know that Porkchop is behind him?
You planned for that. You know that she's over to the side.
Is sending verbal?
Yeah, you cast sending, you have to speak it.
Can I whisper it under my breath?
To cast sending?
Yeah, to Porkchop.
Yeah, you can mutter it.
I'd like to sending to Porkchop, get his hammer away from him.
I will. Is he holding his hammer?
No, he's leaning on it, right?
Yeah, he's currently he's trying to be casual, but he's got a firm grip on it, so he can easily whip it up and swing it again in a second's notice.
Levitated.
I'm no, because he can hold on to it still. Can I try to pick up a small rock and use the catapult spell to hit his hand so that he'll drop it?
Just shoot his hand.
Yeah, just sharp shoot his hand.
Easily. Just make a... You don't even have to roll for it. With catapult, you can easily aim that. So you just pick up a pebble off the ground and just go... Just rocket this rock at his hand. You see it smashes his hand away from the hammer. He staggers to the ground and goes, ah! There's blood streaming down his forearm.
And then, how heavy is the hammer?
It's pretty big, but like you could easily pick it up. It's just heavy.
Yeah, I'll just like invisibly like sit by, grab it, and then keep running.
Scoop it up. It goes invisible with you, and you run off. That's all you watch this happen. Gunnarsson staggers upright, like rage burning in his eyes. You see his hand is like partially mangled. You blast into that with a very heavy object at a very high speed. Basically, definitely broke a few hand bones. But he stares at you, Thuzzal. He says, "Oh, so you have friends too?
Do I?
Make a deception check."
Deception?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm really bad at deception. 8.
He sees right through you.
Do I?
Says, he looks around, like he looks into the treetops, looks around, and says, "Well, it's clear that I'm outnumbered and overpowered. You could kill me if you wanted to. Why haven't you yet?"
I'm trying to give you a chance for your family's sake. For the children. Because I know what it's like.
For the children.
For the children. For the children!
And he says, "And your solution to this would be for me to leave?
And resign.
You told me I just couldn't walk away."
Your...
Yeah, you gotta give him a POA. Plan of action. As I said before, you and this group will leave. You will stop harassing Urk, and you will resign to live out your days away where you can cause harm. Away from where you can cause harm. Your viewpoints do not align with the world and have no place in society.
He glares at you. You see the sweat still like pooling down. You see him suddenly like kind of like clench, like he is holding back like vomit. And he's just like,
Ooh, poor guy.
coughs a bit, and he's like, "Fine."
Swallows it back.
And he gets up, and he just turns around and starts walking away. Make an insight check.
That was too easy.
That was an 8 again. Wow, I'm rolling really badly.
You need some like some
He
stronger promise.
agreed to your suggestion, and he's returning to camp.
I need something
He's gonna
better.
try to come up here and with his company and kill me.
You need like a blood pact or something, which you can't do, but contract?
Zip, can you make this more interesting?
Zip appears on your shoulder and says, like, how? Like, more, like, screaming, or what?
If he tries to rally the troops or to do anything that would have them come up here and try to harm us, obviously we're leaving, but if he were to try to come back up here with the force, I need you to shut him up somehow. Either things in his mouth, you in his mouth, or just general, make it so that he can't talk.
I'll chew his ears off.
How about his lips?
I can do that, too.
Maybe tongue? Actually, no, tongue. I like tongue.
Too many teeth. I'll go with lips. Okay, bye. And he, like, zips off. Gunnarsson limps away, not turning back, not bothering to look, going slow, back towards camp. Let him go.
Pork chop. Do you let him go?
I think he's lying to you. Just saying.
I'll give him a chance. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. He returns
The
to
hammer's
camp.
mine.
Oh yeah, we saw the hammer.
You keep his hammer, yeah. He returns to camp, and you watch from the top of the hill as he staggers back into camp. The two guards are like, "Commander Gunnarsson, what happened?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. We're leaving." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Pack up your things. We're going now." Okay. And they turn and they scatter through camp, rousing the other guards and beginning to pack up. He staggers into the tent where the woman and the two children are. And,
did I just like follow him invisibly to be able to like hear what he's saying?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Sure.
No, no.
Yeah. Make a perception check.
You and Zip are both on damage control.
14.
14. You listen like at the tent and you hear him muttering with his wife. You assume his wife. She says, "Oh my goodness, what happened?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. It'll heal." we're leaving now. She says, oh, are you sure? Are we done? And he's like, yes, we're done here. Everything's completed. Let's go. And he goes back to his tent, gathers his things, and you all watch Workshop from a closer distance than Thuzzal as the camp begins to disassemble everything. They pull the logs off from the road, throw them in the river, and they float downstream, and they begin to pack up. It's a fairly quick procedure. You understand that the military is good at this sort of thing, and within maybe an hour, they've completely disassembled all the tents, packed up the horses, and are heading south along the road back towards Frostford and then Lutetia. Gunderson at the head with his companion lady next to him.
Well,
Do
you think he's actually going to resign?
We'll find out. We'll be in Lutetia in another few days, so if we hear, aspiring general or whatever resigns and whatnot, we'll know. Otherwise, we can make another move. But I'm satisfied. If he follows through, I think our work here is done.
All right. So you take a long rest and wait for Demiurge in the morning?
Yeah, I guess so. If Thuzzal is satisfied.
Thuzzal gives people the chance. If you want to turn a new leaf over, you can do that. If you go back on that, then all bets are off.
All right, so you all get a long rest and wait for Demiurge's signal in the morning. You hear the familiar voice say, are you all done? We're nearing completion on this tuning fork. You say, yep. And he's like, all right, wait a moment. I'll be there at the same place I picked you up. You return to that hill where you had found him before, and maybe 15 minutes later, this burst of light, and he tumbles down the hill a bit and gets up, dusts himself off. Says, oh, this again. Okay, well, let's go. And he draws the circle.
All right, head back to Lutetia.
You gonna say bye to Zip?
Zip
Disappeared. He did not say goodbye. He must have followed the group after they left the tent, seemingly watching per your orders, and then once the shenanigans were complete, you don't know what happened to him, but he did not come back.
Oh, sad. Bye, Zip.
Well, Zip was fun.
He fulfilled his contract.
Fulfilled his contract. Well, Mr. D, shall we?
Let's go. And he taps you both on the shoulder, the circle flares, you find yourself back in the center of Mages College in Lutetia.
Disguised.
This is the beginning of the 5th day. So you have 1.5 days left before you all leave for the Plane of Fire.
I'd like to spend at least a day making sure that the resignation process actually went through, and
well, they're on the road near Urk. They're several days out.
right.
Yeah, he's going to be back for a while.
They'll get back by the time you all return from the Plane of Fire, probably.
Yeah. Well,
We can check
we'll
in
see.
on him then.
He's got his chance. If he takes his chance, then that's the end of it.
All right.
Otherwise.
You all return to Demiurge's mansion and eat some decent food after several days of rations, and help out Galaxia finish up her tuning fork, which on the 7th day she does, and you all gather around and are whisked away to the Plane of Fire to pursue finding this strange talisman for Demiurge, as well as the shenanigans with Pork Chop that ensue after that.
Oh, fucking Pork Chop.
Fucking Pork Chop.
You did good, Pork Chop. Thank you. So I guess I just have Edric Gunderson's hammer now.
Yep,
Yes.
that's your trophy.
It is a +1 Warhammer. That's it.
I mean, I'm not like I was going to use such a ghoulish weapon, but
If you sell it in Lutetia and then he finds it again, that'd be really funny.
He gets it back.
he's like, son of a bitch, you want how much for it?
Yeah, someone's trying to rip him off for his own hammer.
I would consider that, but no, I think I have to throw it in a volcano or something. I'm not sure.
Cleanse his spirit.
Free the spirits that were unjustly killed by said hammer by throwing it into a volcano. This makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Thuzzal's not crazy. This makes sense. You throw things in volcanoes to cleanse them. It's what you do.
Yeah,
I feel like you are going to end up having to throw your soul into a volcano to cleanse it.
So stained.
It'd be the bow, if anything. That would be really sad.
Because that was what took the lives
That's what
of
took the lives, yeah.
the souls.
Is that how that works? Do weapons...
Oh no. Well, depends. It kind of depends.
It depends on if it's meant for that.
Yes, like it depends on some weapons. Maybe like some magic sword that's killed like 10,000 people over the course of 10 centuries. Then that would probably pick up a bit of nastiness along the way.
A bit of bad juju.
Yeah, but 100 or so, it's probably fine.
Wasn't even 100.
Magnitude question.
Hold on.
No, you personally put in like probably 30 or 40 individuals.
True. True.
Yeah.
I don't know. You think I did the right thing?
Letting him live?
He has a family, like the kids, and but like.
I mean, I think he was probably lying, and that he'll end up not resigning and continuing his plan.
Well, if he doesn't resign, then part 2.
Then you will kill him?
Then I will kill him. He had his chance. At that point, it's all bets are up. Right? It's like the bandits. I literally had the guy dead to rights. Arrow to his face. And I backed down because I made him an offer. Give him a chance.
Made him offer, he couldn't refuse.
Well,
and then he did.
And then he refused it, and then he died.
So he couldn't actually refuse it.
I feel like that's Thuzzal's thing. He's willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Once.
Yeah. Well, if you are satisfied with your vengeance, I am satisfied with your vengeance.
Did you pay anybody off or anything like that? No.
I paid for the poison.
Yeah, but we didn't. Oh, was that the?
That was the vomiting poison.
How much was that?
150.
Yeah, okay. I'll give Porkchop 150 gold for the poison that she used.
I should have stolen the stuff from his tent. I kept thinking about it, and it wasn't the right time to say it.
Yeah, you poisoned him. You put a lot of distrust in Gunderson amongst his the Crimson Cloaks. You left him feeling conflicted and aware that Thuzzal is still out there and angry.
Well, I want him to know that I'm out there.
No, he knows now. But yeah, with those rolls, I'll just say, so like as the on the 7th day, as you're getting ready to go to the Plane of Fire, make one more insight check as you just sit there ruminating over everything that you heard about and witnessed.
12.
Yeah, overall, there's, from what like Porkchop learned from his like writings and what you, his like relatively straightforward acceptance of your proposition, there's just something else.
There's something bigger afoot with whatever he was talking about, and we'll unravel that. We'll figure out what that was, but he has a set of actions he has to partake in, and we can go from there. And the rest of the stuff we'll figure out and deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess now that I have names, I can, in theory, try to learn
dig up
more
a little bit
from
more
different
dirt.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Make a history check on that last day.
Porkchop.
15, I think.
Okay.
History, yeah, 15.
Yeah, so you're like ruminating over the names that you heard, and you remember what I said earlier about like the how they were kind of like in the nomenclature of like magic. There were words that you recognize as being part of like a formal language that is used to talk about magic or about nature, and they're not. But you don't know what the words mean. But you
can go to the library and try to find out.
Yeah.
Try to like look them up in a dictionary.
Investigation check to look at the thesaurus or dictionary of like magic words.
19.
19. You flip through a while. It takes you a while, but eventually you find a page, and there's maybe like 20 or so words on here, but all 5 of those words appear on this page. And second. you see they're all prefixed by the word Atropa. So Atropa Belladonna, Atropa Enuum, and so on. And confused, you look even further, and you realize that this is all entries under a herbiculture, like section of just like plant science, basically. This is a genus and a species name for each of these words. Translated into the common tongue, they are a variety of different plants, all in the nightshade family, referring to peppers, eggplant, flowers, tomatoes, and things of that nature.
Interesting.
And also poisons, right?
Some
Nightshade
of them
is
are
one.
poisonous.
Interesting.
I wonder if it's like Atropa would be the name of the society that they're a part of.
Christine, make a history check.
Am I just like saying all the right things?
No. Well, yes, but no.
19.
Well, I was joking. It was more for your, literally, Christine, make a history check.
Oh, whoa.
You would make, it would be more of an insight, I guess. But you would make the connection that you remember from your time in Moduli, that the Nightshade Guild was the name of this whole organization that you dealt with. Some of those peons that you converted over or messed with on the streets, but they belonged to the Nightshade Guild. They had tattoos of the Nightshade flower, a 5-petaled purple and black sigil that seemed to represent that organization.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. Okay, so these individuals are probably part of that guild. And they're getting some asset that is being released to be studied. Okay.
Interesting.
More information required.
But that's mostly
will-
what we get.
Christine, make a history check.
Well, it's like you're talking about maybe it's the name of an organization with the genus name or something. I'm just like, no.
You're like, yes. No.
No.
Yes.
They're all nightshades.
I did think of that, but I thought that was too obvious, and so I was like, well, maybe there's another one, but I was just overthinking it.
Yeah, I was overthinking it. It was something that, you wouldn't, Porkchop wouldn't have made that connection immediately, but upon, researching into what the literal meaning of those words are and their connection, they're all plants within the Nightshade family of plants.
Did you say Porkchop's throne card property was in Dalmor? Or
Sorry,
where
what?
was that?
Repeat that? What?
The Porkchop's property that she got from the throne card was on Dokana.
Yeah, sorry. If we zoom out, her property that she got was in Gelgari on the Isle of Dokana.
Ah, okay. Which is on this map, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I was exploring around the map, looking at the different kingdoms, and I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh. That's going to be a thing we gotta go do.
Yeah, you want to come live with me in my tower and be a vigilante?
I don't know what this all's endgame is.
Yeah, I got plenty of time to figure that out. Thazal's got some stuff to deal with still.
Yeah, if
you
it even
ever-
makes it to an endgame.
Planning on offing yourself when he comes in?
No, but the spirits could steal my soul and
Oh,
stuff.
that's true, yeah.
Steal
Yeah,
the
we
soul.
haven't really gotten into, your character at all.
It was
Well,
just
with
that
this.
you briefly touched on it in Harmstead when you were dealing with the dragon, but this is the first time that the group, even half the party, I guess, has directly attempted to follow Thazal's backstory. You had some interest with Visk, and followed that, but it wasn't really your backstory per se.
Yeah, it was something that I was concerned about, but nonetheless, something for Thuzzal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time he's gotten into it, so there's still more.
There's more, yeah. There's whatever this thing is to deal with, and there's if he actually even resigns and leaves or not. I feel there's going to be a part 2 to the
Don't.
Thuzzal chop assassination one-shot
Scheme.
scheme. Yeah,
We shall see.
Alright.
Did you guys have fun? I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
It was good.